it's gonna be fine, but then when it gets uploaded, I don't know how it's gonna look, because they always like make the videos super weird, and I always have to announce that because I fucking feel like it. So anyway, what is up, y'all? We about to do It's Showtime, and as you can see, I'm sipping my coffee, and I don't know how this got in here. Oh my god, it just slipped right into my drink right there. But yes, and this is not even the full one, because you know I couldn't even do the full one. I had some the other night, but I couldn't finish it. So I guess this is what we're doing now. Okay, so I don't know, man. I mean, it's, you know what it is. If I had to choose between this and the Cutwater espresso martini, I'd probably go with this one, just because the can is smaller and it's slightly bit more tasteful. But I mean, both of them are good. I just mix them with coffee because I fucking feel like it. Oh yeah, and I'm a lightweight, and it reminds me a little bit of like Bailey's, you know, that little cream Bailey's, you know what I'm talking about, that liqueur. But anyway, so I like it. And what we're going to do is, of course, we're going to start off with a sermon, because that's how we roll up on around these parts. And we're going to start with this little drawing, okay, from my handy dandy, what is this called? The whiteboard? Dry erase board? I don't fucking know. Don't fucking matter. Okay, so here is my drawing. So let's get a little bit of information there. I'm gonna explain to you. Oh, look, I'm peeking over. Oh shit. Oh yeah, I love my light in the reflection like the sun. Okay, so let's take a look at these waves, these brain waves, these waves of reality, metaphor for waves of the ocean, because you know. Thank you for joining, everyone. I see a lot of my friends in here. Welcome to the chat. Thank you so much. Oh shit, look at this. It already got a little messed up. What the hell does this say? Oh my god, I don't even know what it says. Transmit. Wow. I thought it said shit, but it's mint. See, that's where my mind be going. I'm like, trans shit. I'm like, what the fuck is trans shit? But it's transmit. Okay, so let's just fix this here. This is why we love a live stream, because you never know what the fuck you gonna get, motherfucker. Okay, oh, let's draw that. This brain got a little erased over here, so we're gonna fill him in over here. All right, so as usual, what I was doing earlier today, I was looking at some videos on TikTok, and then, you know, I kind of just got lost in the moment, as I usually do. And then I received another message about how reality is created, again, through waves. Now, this video was like, ooh, thank you for the gifts. Thank you, everyone. This, I'll leave this so y'all could see it. The video that I saw on TikTok that inspired this actually had to do with, there was someone that jumped, I guess they were on like a yacht or somewhere in the middle of the ocean in Cabo, and someone jumped into the water, and everyone was like, oh my god, like, and basically it was a video of you know, this person attempting to swim to the boat, which eventually they got on board, I assume, but it's like they jumped in, and the waves kind of like pulled them back to the point where they were swimming, and it looked like they were swimming in place. Okay, so I was looking at the comments, and it said square waves in one of the comments. So, you know, my curious motherfucking ass, I was like, well, curious, or we're gonna skedaddle down this motherfucking rabbit hole. And so down that rabbit hole I went, into square waves. And basically, now, yes, of course, this is a metaphor, because that's how we roll around these parts, but the metaphor is that what they were talking about, square waves in the ocean, is basically like two sets of waves converge. Okay, so it's like if you have a body of water and it's moving this way, the waves are going this way, then you have an opposing body of water, and it's like it's water, right? It's all melding together, but like this body of water and that body of water are like flowing to each other, because this direction of the waves, it's going this way, this direction of the waves, it's going that way. And then when the two of them meet, it causes an interference pattern, just like in quantum mechanics, right? When the observer is looking for the thing to behave in a certain way, then it causes that interference pattern, because the observer is causing the interference pattern because it's observing what it wants to see, hence making the waves dance in the direction that is perceived observance of the eye. That was a mouthful. Cool. Okay, so the interference pattern is the square waves. Now in the ocean, the video is saying square waves can be, you know, not the most pleasant to swim in, because it's like a grid. Okay, it's like a grid pattern. And then I said, oh snap, I gotta make a video about this, because I was like, a grid, a pattern, the waves, matrix, operating system, hello. So I was like, okay. So what I saw when I, because that's how I fucking roll, okay, when I saw that video of the waves converging, they were saying that these types of waves, you know, if you're swimming in them, it could seem like it's taking forever, because the way that the waves, it's like two different bodies of water like melding into each other, so it's causing the interference pattern, hence the square wave. And then it's like, this is pulling you this way, that's pulling you that way, that's pulling you that way. So it's like, imagine you're in a square, and each side of the square is pulling you in a different direction. It's gonna be like, holy shit, like I ain't going nowhere, right? And this is why from what I'm saying is that, you know, from the reality construction mental viewpoint, okay, it's very similar to brainwaves. When you feel like you're stuck and you feel like you're not going anywhere, it's not necessarily that. It's because of the interference pattern that occurs, okay? So let's just take a nice little sip of this, and I'm going to explain what my little pictogram means. And I see you guys in the chat. Love you all. Thank you for the comments. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining, everyone. You know, I got to get revved up first with a sermon, so I will get to the chat in a bit, but I want to make sure that I explain this before I fucking forget, because that's how we roll around here, you know. Every moment is now. So what was I doing a minute ago? I don't fucking know. I forgot, because I don't give a shit, because it don't matter now, right? Okay, so with the... Oh my God, I thought this motherfucker just went down another rabbit hole, okay? But anyway, so... Can we all see this? Okay, cool. So this lovely drawing is your brain. This is the two separate hemispheres of the brain, okay? Now, I don't really know my right from my left. I mean, I do, but like not all the time, so it doesn't fucking matter. It's just a word. So I didn't label it right from left. Number one, because I don't fucking know the difference. Number two, it don't fucking matter. This is metaphor. Number three, I know that on the camera it's going to come out flipped regardless. So I don't even know if you guys are seeing this as it's like written this way or you're seeing it opposite. I don't fucking know. Didn't really think that much through this, but whatever. It is what it is now, you know. Always move forward, okay? So it's flipped. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to flip it the opposite direction, honestly. No, that's upside down. Okay, we're just gonna power through it, okay? So everyone get a mental image, okay? So it doesn't really matter if you see this flip. These are the two hemispheres of the brain, and one is logic, okay? This is logic, this is intuition, okay? Otherwise, ooh, thank you for the gift, appreciate you. Otherwise known as the two hemispheres of the brain, okay? So thank you. I'm not going to get too much into that because I ain't a fucking scientist and it don't fucking matter because this is a metaphor. So we have the two hemispheres of the brain. Now, remember what I said about that analogy with the waves of the ocean. Thank you. I love the gifts. Appreciate you. So this body of water is going that way. This body of water is going that way. So when the two intersect at the same time, they are causing that square wave pattern, the interference pattern. It's the same way for your brain waves, right? Every time that you think of something, you have a thought, an emotion, it's waves of energy. You're emitting that, right? Because everything is made up of waves. Even your physical vehicle and your brain matter is made up of waves. It's just condensed, it's slowed down into tangible 3D format. Cool. So the logical side and the intuitive side, right? So I'll give you an example of how this works in manifestation. The two different hemispheres of your brain. the logical side, and it doesn't really matter if this is reversed or not, just, use your imagination, okay? Picture like the two opposing brain hemispheres. So logically with manifestation, you might be looking at the thing, okay? I've been affirming for this long and nothing has happened, but that person in the past has done this, but things in my immediate environment look like this, okay? That's all logical. Okay, which, yes, logic has a purpose sometimes in, like 3D and shit like that. But as far as manifestation is concerned, it's like you blow logic out the fucking window, okay? So the other hemisphere of your brain, the intuitive side, okay, what I guess we call the right hemisphere, right? This is more the imagination, the creativity, whereas the left side would be logical, I think. But then I know it's like even inverted, like the sides of your brain, like it says like which eye that you could see dominantly out of means your opposite end of your brain is like more powerful. I don't know, I'm sure some of you have heard that, but either which way, okay, we have the creative side, okay, and then we have the logical side. So the manifestation perspective is the creative side, and this creative side is not using logic. It's just saying, well, I see this thing, I desire to experience this thing in the 3D realm because I see it with my third eye. So I'm just going to emit waves looking at the thing. So emitting waves looking at that thing means every time you do a visual, every time you say an affirmation, every time that thought crosses your mind, you're really in that creative sphere. Because think about it, you have to be creative to an extent with manifestation, because you're only seeing it through this eye. At least maybe for even a second, if it doesn't appear that second, but like until you see it in the 3D and you're experiencing it in the 3D, you have to be creative because you see it in your mind. That's creativity. That's not logic. It's like there's a picture in my mind and I know it's real. How the fuck do you explain that logically? You really fucking can't, okay? So this is what you're emitting. Every time you think of the desire, every time you think of an affirmation, a visual, whatever, you're transmitting that to the matrix, okay? So it's being transmitted to the matrix, the mother, the breeder, right? That's the definition of the matrix. All it is doing is it's a holographic visual representation of the things that are going on in your mind, okay? But here's the thing, right? You are also, okay, at the same time, like I said in the beginning, with the two wave forces crashing into each other, logically, you're like, but it hasn't happened, but it's been this long, but this needs to happen. You're thinking of like a logical sequence of events that needs to play out in order for the thing to cross your path and it in the 3D. And then you're sending out those waves as well. You're transmitting those waves to the matrix. And that is where a lot of you get stuck. That's probably, I mean, I don't want to say the most common, but for the terms of this chat, probably the most common thing today is that you're getting stuck in those square waves, in those two meeting points intersecting, and now there's an interference pattern because what you're imagining and what you're thinking from the logical state do not match. So it's causing an interference. And just like, the person who jumped into the water and then took like forever to swim back to the boat because they were stuck in the square waves, they couldn't move because it was like things were pulling at them in all direction. Now you have this going on, the waves of energy, right? Okay, the reflection is pulling you in all different directions, okay? So it could be a reflection that you have in your mind, it could be a reflection in 3D, like your thoughts, emotions, everything. It's like you're inside that square, metaphorically, energetically speaking, of those crisscross waves that you have been emitting. And remember, the reality is you. So you're caught in there, and that's why it seems like nothing is moving in the 3D, because you are causing this interference pattern inadvertently. So you're sending out the waves saying, yes, this has already happened, this is what I want, you're feeling good, you're thinking good, but then this ain't all, but I've been doing this for such amount of time, nothing has happened, how is this going to work, but this needs to happen first, right? Like a whole bunch of monkey mind bullshit is going on at the same time. And that's what's causing the interference. So now your 3D is like those two bodies of water that have intersected each other. And the 3D is basically, it's like a direct reflection of what you have going on mentally. So if you are half in each world, it's like, which world are you in, right? Which world are you in if you're not in either of them entirely? That's why you tend to get hot and cold. You back and forth. You get the thing and then it's taken away, or you're getting signs or breadcrumbs, but you're not getting the full thing, right? It's because that interference pattern, okay? So it's like, that's why you seem like nothing is moving in the 3D, why it's taking you longer to swim. You have to exert more effort to get to the ship, so it seems, because you are not aware of, well, you are now, of these two contradicting wave patterns. And that is what is basically happening energetically. It's like you form a grid around yourself, and because there's so many things going on in your mind that are conflicting, it's like one story is pulling you this way. How's it going to happen? The other story is pulling you that way. Well, it already happened. And then you're like, well, but this has to happen in order for that to occur. Then it's like, no, everything is possible. I can have it now without lifting a finger. Do you see? And if you're getting pulled in all directions at once, it's like you're going to remain stagnant, because it's like you go a little bit this way, then you go a little bit that way. And then it's like you just, all you're doing is dancing in fucking place. Okay. So now, how to fix this? Okay, like I said, the waves with the grid pattern, all of that. Okay, how you fix that? It really, really is easier said than done. Okay. Of course, that's a way of thinking and being. You know, if you're saying that's easier done than said, okay. You know, but for in a lot of instances, you can know logically, okay, the left brain. Okay, well, if I'm manifesting this is all I need to do, just pick a story and not waver from it. But then it's like, okay, then you implement that, right? You do a meditation, or you say a bunch of affirmations, or you do a visual, whatever it is. But then it's like so you're moving the waves in the direction that you want. And then what happens is that, how come nothing happened yet? I have to check the 3D. Let me just check one more time. So you know what you have to do. That's coming from logic, that's good logic, because you have an awareness of like, okay, I must do this, but it's about implementing it. And this is where so many individuals get stuck, because those waves can be fucking sneaky. There's another phenomenon that I might have spoken on this before, but I think it happens in like the Pacific Northwest, and they're called sneaker waves. I did not know what the fuck that was until I saw that on TikTok too, and I said, oh shit, look up sneaker waves if you're into the ocean. I love me some ocean. So the sneaker waves, right? This is sneaker wave, okay, metaphorically speaking, in terms of like manifesting, okay? You have the little sneaker waves, and basically what a sneaker wave, as far as I remember, is that it's like you standing on the shore, okay, and the wave, it's like all the way out there, and it's like very low. It's not like a huge, you know, like corkscrew wave that you see in Hawaii or something. And it's like, it's just like a little flat wave, and then you're like, oh, it'll never reach me. It's like too short, but then it's fast, and then it can like drag you out, okay? And the water is like literally up to your fucking ankles, but it can drag you out, or so, I don't know. That's what they look into. Look into that, okay? But a sneaker wave, metaphorically to me, is those little thoughts that come up, and you wouldn't think that they really matter because you're not necessarily thinking about them, and they are also so subconscious that you might not even have an idea that that is even what's going on until you start to see it play out. So an example of a sneaker wave in that whole mix is that, yes, you know logically what to do, and you're saying your affirmations, but that little sneaker wave is going to creep on through, and it's really a story that you have in your subconscious mind. Even if it's something looking at timing or logic, you might not have a contradicting story. You might fully be aware that the thing has already happened, but then it's like, well, what about the time? It's like a sneaker. It's like sneaking around in your mind. So you're like, yeah, I'm affirming, I'm persisting, yeah. But then it's like underneath that, it's like that sneaker wave. Oh, what about the time? Whatever, I don't care. Whoosh, and it draws you back in, and then you're like, fuck. Okay, so it's those little sneaker waves, and I have seen this play out a lot of times, okay, where someone will be like explaining a situation, and then it's like in their explanation of the situation, I find the sneaker wave. I'm like, wait a second, but here you go, here's what it is. And like the individual, because they're in it, right, a lot of times when we're in a situation, we're not seeing it as accurately as someone who is observing it, right? So it's kind of like from the ego's vantage point, it's personal. So you might not see the sneaker wave, whereas someone else who's looking at it from a distance is like, oh, there's that sneaker wave, but motherfucker chilling on the beach, rolling around and shit, you know, and they're unaware, okay? They're like, oh, but that's far away, it doesn't matter, then poof, okay? And that sneaker wave is legit sometimes the smallest little tidbit of a story, okay? So I will give you an example, okay? Because those sneaker waves, they are part of that big ecosystem of the ocean with the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of the brain. You're manifesting, but then this little thing sneaks up and it's like, whoa, where did that come from, okay? So first, to be sure that there are no sneaker waves, you really would want to, and this is my suggestion, okay? Obviously, anyone could do whatever the fuck they want, you know, whatever, okay? But a lot of times, the answer to why the manifestation isn't in 3D at this point in time can be found in just the way that you talk about it. So, how are you talking about the situation? Like, imagine you know, if you want to write it out, notes on your phone or whatever the case, okay, you can think of, okay, so why hasn't it happened yet? That's a good question to start with. Because if you're like, you know, it's you, okay, why hasn't this happened yet? And just start, what do you think? I don't know, man, because it's different for everyone. That's why, you know, different people have different subconscious minds and different ways of viewing things and different experiences, and you know what I mean? So everyone is different. So this is why you don't want to get like specific. You don't want to try to implement what you think it is. Just write out what is stopping this thing from happening, okay? And just sit and write it out. Think about it. Well, how come it hasn't happened? And then when you start like going in with that narrative, right, you imagine that notepad is like your BFF, and you're just telling it like, well, I think it hasn't happened because of this, that. Okay, there it is. There's your answer. That's the sneaker wave. But you don't see it because it's sneaky, because it seems like it's manifestation laced with logic. Well, yeah, manifesting, but I mean, the sequence of events has to play out. It can't just appear out of thin air. Sneak a wave. Who says? Who says some shit can't just appear out of fucking nowhere? Who says some shit can't just disappear out of nowhere? It fucking can. But because it's all a reflection of you, the Matrix is like, if you're saying that it can't, and you're saying that it has to be a logical sequence of events in order for that thing to play out, there's your sneaker wave, and you don't even realize it. And then you're gonna be like, wait, but no, but that the logical thing, it has to happen that way. No, it doesn't. Nothing has to happen. The only thing that has to happen is mental. It's all mental. Everything is mental. Okay, so you want to think of all those waves that I just talked about: sneak wave, square wave, all this shit. Okay, that's a metaphor for your brain waves, because your brain waves is what is interfacing with the hologram and is directing it. But it's interpreting it in wave format in ways which, you know, we're not going to fully understand. Okay, it's pure consciousness, just like this is how it goes. Okay, so what is that sneaker wave? Ask yourself, why do I think this has not happened yet? That's all. And you're gonna find the answer there, because I've seen it play out with individuals, and they're like, oh shit, like I didn't even realize I was thinking that. Like, no, because it's a fucking sneaker wave. You're not gonna realize it. It creeps up and you're like, oh shit. Okay? So, if you are finding yourself wondering why it hasn't happened yet, maybe it's a story about a person, okay? Well, yeah, they're obsessed with me, they're in love with me. Oh, but they have too much pride to reach out to me. Sneak a wave. And they're like, no, but I mean, what they've shown me before is that they have too much pride. Oh, but we're not summoning that before version of that motherfucker, are we now? We're summoning the ideal version. So, null and void, canceled out. Okay? The same thing with the money. You don't want to work. you just want the fucking money. You want it to just magically appear in your bank account. Oh, but that can't happen. Where is it going to come from? Sneak a wave? Who says it can't just land in your bank account out of nowhere? Direct deposit right from the universe. From you to you with love. Cancels it out, right? Why hasn't it happened? I don't fucking know. You do though, because it's your reality. You're the only one that's experiencing your mind the way that it is, okay? So, that being said, how to get rid of the sneaker wave so that you can collapse the wave. No, it's not quantum physics, they say collapse the wave. Like, I just love it. I'm thinking, something that resonates with me, and this is not right or wrong, but I'm like, everything that they say about like the earth, nature, things like that, right? The core of the earth, the inner core, cor means heart in Latin, okay? It's like the center of the earth matrix, right? Because your heart is like the center chakra, and your body is the one designed to traverse the earth matrix, so it's like a metaphor for that. The waves, how they talk about like the ocean and like the grid pattern of the wave, it's the same thing. It's just like energetic waves, but they talk it in metaphors for the way that we experience these natural quote phenomena in the matrix. But it's really just a physical plane representation of things that are going on in planes that are intangible, okay? Especially like, for me, when I'm, hanging out with Gus, you start to see the waves. Like, you literally start to see that everything is waves, and you start to see in real time that the waves are like, everything is a vibration. And I have personally fucking seen that. So everything is made up of waves. It's just slowed down. And then when someone is accessing these different levels of consciousness, be it they're hanging out with Gus, or they're in like a deep meditation, or they're just, they're just so in touch with that aspect of themselves, they could aspect it. It's like new levels are unlocked, and like these chambers open, these receptors in your brain open, because your brain is an antenna, so then your brain is accurately able to see how reality is made up of waves right in front of you. It's opening up where you can literally see into other dimensions and into other timelines, okay? So it's all connected, right? The things that we are seeing in front of our physical eyes, they're not stagnant. They're always moving, because a wave is not stagnant. Even if the ocean looks still, there are still waves, okay? So how you collapse into the timeline that you want, okay, is you find out what the sneaker wave is. And then if it's something logical, like a sequence of events has to happen, then you say, no, this is manifestation. We're not doing logic. And you say, it's already happened. Timing. It's already happened. But they have too much pride. They have no pride. They are me. And if they are me, they cannot be separate from me. They cannot have pride unless I say that they do. Okay? Whatever it is, you want a particular job. You might not have a resume that logically seems like you're qualified for it. Doesn't matter. I'm the exception to every rule. Okay? You find a way around it. Just like water. Again, with fucking waves. Water will look... Thank you for the gift. Water will look for the path of least resistance. Abraham Hicks always says that. This is one of the things I do agree with them on, okay? The path of least resistance, it's always downstream, right? Water, I think the Nile River is the only river that flows upstream, scientifically, geographically speaking, okay? But then that's why they say denial is a river in Egypt, right? You're denying something, you're like flowing away from the thing. I don't know, right? You could deny your 3D reality, you're flowing upstream away from it. You're like, fuck that, I ain't looking over here. And then pretty soon, the more waves you direct in that direction, it's going to find a path, right? It's going to find a path, okay? What can cut through rock very easily and gently is water, okay? More wave symbolism, right? It's just going to... It's just going to sneak through, right? So what you do is you find the opening, Okay, and the opening is what I just said. So if it is about a career, you don't think you're qualified. Thank you. Well, what is the opening that you're going to start the little trickle in that direction to cut away the rock? I'm the exception to every rule. I'm qualified for everything that I want. Boom. I'm perfectly qualified. Be mindful not to say that you're overqualified for the job, because then they're going to tell you that you're overly qualified. Not because they're doing that, because you did that. Just like the person, I'm too good for them anyway. How are they not on my shit? Well, bitch, you just said you're too fucking good for them. So what are they? Oh man, I'm really into them, but you're too good for me. You see? So they're not gonna fucking approach you. Sneak a wave. Sneak a wave. Right fucking there. Okay? And now, it's different for everyone, but I have found, or it's probably my perception, obviously it is my perception, but I'm like, things that I have just said, they have come to pass quite fucking literally. Quite literally, like exact to the T. Here you go. I'm like, whoa. So now I'm extra mindful, okay, of those little sneaker waves. Okay, you're not overqualified, you're perfectly qualified. Boom, it cuts out excess potential. You're not too good for something that you want. You are equal to it as it is equal to you, right? Because you can sit, and I'm not talking like you're the shit, right? Everyone is the shit in their own universe. Like, you're amazing, you're the best. But like, if you're out there saying, I'm too good for this, then it's a direct reflection. So it's like anything that you want, you are the Lord, and you are the Lord, and there is none else. Everything that you want is perfect for you, just like you are perfect for it. Boom. Okay. So be mindful not to like hype yourself up to the extent where you're keeping shit away from you. Okay? Sneak a wave. So path of least resistance would be to find that sneaker wave and soften it to something that is more palatable, that is going to put that thing in you right now. And for me, I would just be like, it's done now, it's done perfectly. The career, yep, you got it. There's no one more perfect for that position than you. There's no one more perfect for that motherfucker than you. Okay? There is no time. If you think of time, sneak away. But yeah, this must happen. Nope. It's done now. It's done perfectly in the perfect timing. Always say in the perfect timing. Always. Because here's something, and like, you know, I don't know if I could really talk about it like that because I like everything instantaneous. But I've heard some examples of individuals, and they're like, shit started happening really fast, and like, I don't know if I was prepared for it. And like that, I can't relate to that, because, you know, I like things like boom, like right now. That's just me, so ain't nothing happening too fast for me, you know what I'm saying? But if you're thinking that something is happening too fast or too slow, why is it taking so long? Oh my god, it happened so fast. And then you get shook or you get annoyed, whichever the case, you know. You just say in perfect timing. That's how you collapse that wave. This way, it's kind of like you're being general. You're not specifying a time. Okay, you're not saying you've been manifesting for 2 weeks and nothing fucking happened. You're not saying that it should have happened by now. You're not saying, oh my god, but it happened instantaneously. I don't know if I could handle it. Okay, then you're going to relax. You can say it happened in the perfect timing for me. Which, however it plays out, is going to be the perfect timing for you. So that's a really good one, especially with timing. Okay, for me, I just say it's done now. It's done perfectly, peacefully, better than I expect, because I want my shit now. I ain't trying to say no perfect timing, because for me, perfect time is always now. Boom, boom, boom. I like it. I like that. But if you find that things are moving too fast, if you want to slow it down, and just be like, it happened in the perfect timing for me. Perfectly. Better than I expect. That's it. What is something else? I don't know if there'd be any other, well, or there could be a whole fucking multitude of sneaker ways, but like those are like the big ones, okay? It's like the individual's not necessarily aware that they have an opposing thought to it. Like Well, that job should have hired me because I'm overqualified. Well, they didn't hire you because you're overqualified. Boom. Okay, but that motherfucker should be on my shit because I'm too good for them anyway. You see, those are kind of easy, but you might not see them because you're in it, right? It's like you're looking in from like the vantage point of the fish inside the fishbowl, whereas even your higher self, God, source, university, or whatever you want to call it, is looking at the entire fishbowl, seeing your avatar in it. So it's seeing things differently. And that's what you do when you're finding out these sneaker waves. If this is something you choose to explore, then you would ask, why hasn't it happened? I mean, it's already happened in the ethereal realm in your imagination. That's what matters. But if your ego is the one that's noticing any type of absence, and you're going to say, why hasn't this happened? The answer's just going to come to you. Okay? It's not going to be something that you need to even think about. And you might be shocked at what the answers are, okay? Because sometimes, it can play out very, very literally. The way things appear in your experience. I'm like, oh, shit. Sometimes I'm like, God damn. That was wild. But, if you're concerned with timing, perfect time, perfectly, peacefully, better than I expect, because we want, the thing is, when Neville, I'm always say this, I'm gonna probably say this in every fucking stream or video or whatever. Neville Goddard, feeling is the secret, is the naturalness of it. So when you're manifesting something, you're saying, whoa, it happened so fast, because you were hyping it up in your mind, right? You were fucking jackhammering fucking affirmations, right? You were just hitting it yeah. And then the thing happened, but you were not prepared. You were just so focused on getting the thing that all your awareness was directed there. So it was like a target at those waves in that direction. You blasted it. You turned up the heat, and you never identity shifted. So that's why it's oh shit, is this really happening? Your manifestations, let me tell you, how you're going to be able to keep them is the naturalness. When your manifestation appears to you in 3D, it should not, in any shape, form, or fashion, feel like a surprise. That's how you know that you have calibrated your energetic body, okay, which is going to tune up the physical body to the frequency of that timeline where your body is able to accept it. Because what happens, okay, now I've been talking about this a lot recently, about the body and harmonizing the body to that proper timeline that you want to be in. Like a software update, okay? So you have the same body, right? I mean, I guess technically by science they say that the cells regenerate every 7 years, whatever the fuck. We ain't talking about no science, we talked about manifestation, okay? So your body is the same, right? It might look the same, for the most part, but it's a different software. And that's what happens when you say that something is happening too fast. It's like the software, your energetic body didn't fully download, and so the phone might have rejected it, right? Because it's whoa, huh? You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens when you jackhammer in a fucking affirmation. And you didn't even think to be mindful of the naturalness of it. You were just I want it. See how that energy is coming from a place of desperation and obsession? Reality Transurfing, Vadim Zeland. Excellent book. Hey, Ashley. Good to see you. Thank you. So it's excess potential. Okay, and this is why I've heard a lot of stories where someone is and I affirmed and I got this and I did this, and then the thing appears, but then it goes away again. And they're what happened? I'm what do you think happened? I'm always going to go with what do you think happened, because it's your reality. So what you think happened is what happened, okay? And what the answer has been majority of the time is, I don't know, maybe I wasn't ready. That's deep. That's fucking deep. We're talking about waves. Get your fucking snorkel outfit, okay? That shit is deep. You said you want the thing. And this is not for everyone. This is, I'm just tossing out like different situations that I've heard when they're talking about the thing happening too fast and then they lose it or they get scared or something. That's all coming from the ego, right? Because you already have it. But you while you were obsessed, while you were hyping that up, while you were fucking whacking off, thinking about the thing, doing the O method and all this shit, okay? You were just so concentrated on the thing and your obsession with it, it caused excess potential. So the thing, right? And really look into this reality transurfing because he gets into that, okay? Really great book. So it causes excess potential because you're coming from a place of lack and energy. The God state likes to be, it's neutral. How it processes in the body is natural. That's how you know you have it. So it's like you're trying to, what is that saying that everyone always talks about? You're holding sand, all these fucking beach references, okay? You're holding sand, you're holding it tight. The sand is going to spill out, right? But if you're just like this, oh, here's some sand, cool. You're not like, rrr. See, there's no excess potential. It's just there. It's just chilling. Right? But if you're like, rrr, just like a dog with a fucking bone, and you're like, this motherfucker's obsessed with me. I don't know why I'm typing, but whatever. Okay? So maybe someone's typing it out, like rampaging affirmations in their notes app. I don't fucking know, okay? But you're doing that, but it's the energy behind it which is causing the excess potential. So you get the thing because, yeah, you fucking jackhammered the shit out of that story. So, of course, it's going to, bits and pieces are going to show up, but what's a jackhammer? It's a little rough, isn't it? It's not natural. You ever fucking seen a jackhammer? You ever seen them motherfuckers in motion? Sexually. Sexually and literally, like a jackhammer, the fucking instrument in the street, which also is kind of sexual if you think about it. A jackhammer, whatever, okay? It's a little rough. So you like pounded the shit out of it, and now there's debris all over the place, and you're like, whoa, what happened? And you like, I don't know, you hit something along the way, and some shit exploded in your face, and you're like, what the fuck? Because of that excess potential. You were so focused on the thing, but your body wasn't calibrated because your body was holding on. Okay? And I don't mean like your body, like you were physically holding on. I mean that again as a metaphor, right? Your body has to be calibrated. It has to be tuned perfectly to that timeline. It can't just be like, okay? I mean, in instances, I guess it can, but it's like, from what I've heard, when someone has said they're not ready for it, it's like they never really thought about what it would be like to be in that timeline where whatever it was going on. They were just so focused on getting there that they never thought, what would it be like to be here? So it's like, imagine, it's like similar to, you like blasted through something and then there's like debris and particles all over the place and you're like, what the fuck, you created a mess. Okay, because the excess potential. Fine, whatever, it is what it is. But it's like you're so concentrated on getting to that thing. It's like, imagine you book a trip, okay? Not a trip like, not that type of trip, you know what I'm saying? I mean like a trip, like a plane, okay? So you book the flight, you book the hotel, whatever, all this shit, okay? You book excursions, you write all things with the trip. When someone books a trip, okay, they're thinking about what they're going to do when they're at the destination, right? That's what most motherfuckers think about, right? When they book a vacation, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there, we're going to do. They're not really thinking about what they're going to do on the plane or what they're going to do on the boat, unless it's like a cruise ship or something, you know what I mean? Because then there's things you do on the cruise ship. They might loosely think, what am I going to do on the plane? Am I going to, download some movies to watch? Whatever the fuck it is, okay? But they're not really thinking, I'm on the plane, yeah, and I'm going to look out the window, fuck yeah, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to, like, you're not hyping up the journey, right? So what you're doing essentially when you're jackhammering in those desperate affirmations, you're focused so much on being on the plane, getting to the destination, you're hyping that portion up, that when you get to the destination, you're like, oh, what do I do here? Because you didn't even think about it. You just thought, what? Okay, so, whoa. Do you see what I'm saying? That I never thought about this before, but it makes perfect sense. And this is why motherfuckers would be like, that the thing happened so fast. Yeah, because you were so concerned with the destination of it that you didn't think, what's it like to be in it? That's why Neville Goddard, again, when he says, go to the end. Yes, the plane ride there is already assumed to be safe, perfect, and peaceful. You got there, right? You're already there. You don't need to think about the how. Thinking about the how or coming from a place of desperation is lack. It's coming from the ego. And that's it. That's what causes excess potential. So the desire in and of itself is in your awareness. But the ego can be trippy because it's so fixated on getting there that it's like you're hyping up the plane ride to get there. And then when you disembark, you're like, what is this? And then you're like, oh, I'm going to get back on the plane. And this is where so many individuals are just invested from the ego perspective of getting there rather than being the fuck in it. Queefing straw to that, motherfucker. Okay? So, it's like, that's exactly, metaphorically speaking, in my opinion, that's exactly what's happening. It's like a lot of individuals are invested so much in the identity of them manifesting the thing. They never get off the fucking plane. They're just like flying around for fucking ever. And they never fully fucking land. Not because they can't, but because they didn't flirt with the idea of what it would be like to be in it. The ego was hell-bent on getting there, finding the best way to get there. I want to say another affirmation. I want to do another visual. I need to find another law of assumption person. Okay. Then you go ahead and do that. Let me know how much fun that is, because I can tell you this. You being the motherfucker that has it, okay? Look around you, and I'm always say that. It's like you whatever device you're watching this on, phone, TV. I don't even know if you can watch a TikTok live on the TV. I never have. I've never tried that, but whatever. I don't know what you want, okay? You have that device. You're not in a panic searching how are you going to get that device because you already have it. Can we all relate to that? I think so. Because the things that you have in your reality are natural to you. So where's the destination to get it? It just, what happened? Nothing. I mean, like shit happened, but you weren't thinking about it, right? So it's the same process with the manifestation. So if you want the journey to be smooth and comfortable, okay, faster than you expect, better than you expect, which is what I say, faster than I expect, better than I expect. It's already implied. Yeah, the thing, it already came to me. Perfectly, peacefully, faster than I expected, better than I expected, boom. So the plane ride, it's included with the manifestation. Just like in the movie Arrival, where they have the language of the heptapods. And I've mentioned this before. And their language is a circle. So Alpha and Omega, right? You call the end from the beginning. It doesn't talk about the middle. Alpha, Omega. Who's in the middle? No one. There ain't no jackhammering. Oh, but when is it going to happen? How's it going to happen? But I need to happen now. No, it's just, it is. It's included. The circular language. Another metaphor. The end is already in the beginning. The beginning is already in the end. So the sequence of events to play out, like I said, with that water cutting through, like the how rivers are formed, the pattern, the wave, right? It's liquid reality. It's just going to start flowing there. It's going to start eroding away the rock. It's going to start blasting through what someone would perceive as physical obstacles because it's the wave. And physical objects are made of waves, but the energetic waves, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. You laser beam with your mind, but you don't look at the journey. You don't look at the rock being eroded away. You look at whatever the... Bro, I don't even know lakes and rivers, okay? Mississippi River, is that it? It empties into the Gulf, right? Okay, so you want to get to the Gulf, but you wouldn't, I don't even know where the Mississippi River begins. Somewhere up north, Minnesota, somewhere, okay? Don't know. This is not about geography. But it's like you want to be at the Gulf, so I'm going to imagine myself at the Gulf. However the river gets there, it's just already flowing there. That's it. Okay? Abraham Hicks, again, they say everything you want is downstream. It's easy. There's no pressure. Okay? That's not your job to do that. You're programmed that you have to have a job to do something. That if you're not doing anything, you're lazy. Enjoy being lazy. All work is mental. And if anyone has significantly shifted their mindset awareness on the mental plane, you know that shit, man, to really change your fucking mind, that, in my opinion, takes more effort than just doing ego shit. Ego shit is fucking easy. Anyone can fucking do that. Anyone can fucking study from a book, okay? And memorize shit and then take a test and pass. Not everyone can change their mind. That's why this topic, even though it is kind of like, it's, in my opinion, it's kind of exploded in like the past few years. Like everyone is talking about manifest this, that, like manifest with pick a name, Mufasa, okay? Everyone is talking about it, right? But like, even that can be like ego based, because not everyone who knows about manifestation is even doing it correctly or applying it and actually changing their mind. They're looking at it because they came into manifestation because they were researching how to get X back and they came across the manifestation video. Now they're like, oh, okay, but you didn't change your mind, you didn't shift your identity, you didn't do none of that. So you manifest the X back, but you really had no clue what the fuck you were doing. Okay, and now the same shit happened because you didn't change your mind, because it is not, I mean, I don't want to say it's not easy, but like, for me, in my opinion, changing your mind is a bigger task than, doing something in the 3D, okay? If you really change your mindset, because think about it, those waves have been going on for years, since birth. You're just bombarded. This is how you're supposed to act. This is how you're supposed to think. You're supposed to follow that religion. You're supposed to do this. And it's like, whoa. And if you really look with this eye, there's a lot of motherfuckers that they're just trapped in there. And all they know is what they have been programmed. It's like, yeah, you read the book, you memorized it, and now you're just regurgitating what the fuck you were told. You didn't change your mind. You're not critical thinking. You talk about manifestation, but you're regurgitating what everyone else is saying. So it can be good where you're looking at, like, let's say me, I regurgitate Neville Goddard, Abraham Hicks, Joe Dispenza, right? But like, if I didn't have my own personal experiences, for me, I wouldn't even want to talk about this shit. Because you have to, in my opinion, you have to experience really mentally changing your fucking mind. And anyone who has been able to do that, you're going to be like, whoa, that was more significant than just going along and doing what I've always done mentally, okay? So having your own spiritual experience, manifestation, quantum Dimitri experience, right? That is something that you did that cannot be taught. It's easier to follow a religion and say, well, this is your God. You're going to worship them and do this and recite this prayer. Anyone can fucking do that. Not anyone can hang out with Dimitri and come out of it really fucking lit. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine someone who's super religious? You give them And then they're like, that would put them into a fucking shock. It really fucking would. Okay? Because their mindset is so ingrained in what they've been taught that even if like an awareness that was different, they would just, that would scare them. They would immediately reject it, right? It's not like, again, I don't want to fucking say, like, it can be easy to change your mind, right? But when you're first getting into it, it's like, whoa. Like, it's that easy. Yes, manifestation is that easy. All you have to do is decide and just not waver from the thing. It has no choice but to play out. But to change your mind, those intersecting wave patterns, the interference, the square waves, the sneaker waves of all that you've been taught and programmed, all that you've been having to memorize, okay, goes against that. You see? So it's about like changing your mind, being like, yes, I was taught that, but who am I now? Do I agree with that? So there are certain things that, like, okay, maybe in a societal construct, you believe in manifestation, you also are religious. Okay, if that's who you are, but then who are you now? Right? If you've opened up your mind and you still believe in religion, you are likely looking at that religion differently because you've had your own experience with like spirituality, metaphysics, quantum physics, the all. You've already had your own experience. So the religion, it's like, even if you still choose to be religious and believe in that religion, you're going to be looking at it a whole lot differently. Because you're like, whoa, but that's something that has to come from experience. It's not necessarily something that is taught, okay? That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, manifesting is easy, but coming out of these programs, these mind programs that are keeping the manifestation from you, ask anyone who has really significantly shifted their mindset. They're going to tell you like, whoa, okay? Because it's all on you. You have to power through any type of emotion, not blast through it like fucking jackhammer, okay? Not fight with it, okay? You don't, what was that phrase? I forget exactly what it says from the White Book, Ramtha by Jay-Z Knight. The thought is the most powerful thing because you cannot war against a thought, right? You can't. How are you gonna have a war? You gonna wage a war against a thought? Oh, I don't like that thought. Fuck you. I'm fuck you up. Who are you warring with? Yourself in your mind, right? So it's like, but it's easy to do that. It's easy to say fuck you thought, fuck you. It's easy. But to switch out the thought, not pay attention to it, not pay it no mind. You're like, I see that thought. I see it in my awareness, but I know that that thought is not me. It has no power over me. And I know that this thought is meaningless. It has no meaning unless I say it fucking does. It has no meaning. I'm going to look over here. Keeping calm in a place where you would have spiraled, lashed out before, even if it's in your own mind. Whoa. Brethren, if you could do that, that's it. You could do anything. Okay? An emotion comes up. I don't like this emotion. You get a spiral. You're feeling bad. You're depressed. You're sad. You're angry. I don't know, whatever the fuck emotions is coming up. Okay? I'm the observer of this emotion. I don't really care for it, but you know what? I know how to release it. I'm gonna go for a walk and I'm gonna put on some good music. I'm not gonna pay attention to it. Whatever feelings come up, yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna judge them. I'm not gonna identify with them. I'm just gonna let them pass on through. I'm gonna take deep breaths. I'm gonna do something that my physical vessel already perceives as calm, and I'm gonna let the emotion pass. It's easier to spiral. It's easier to crash out. It's easier to go back to the old story. It's so fucking easy because that's what you're familiar with. The devil, you know, right? So even though something could be better on the other side of that, you're familiar with this thing, the fucking intersecting wave pattern. That's why you feel stuck, because you're like, I know this shit. I know what to do, but it's taking so long. But I used to think this way, and that person might think this, and I'm whoa. So what do I always say? What I always fucking say? Bringing it back to the square waves, what I started with, the interference pattern. You don't try to swim to the fucking ship. Okay? They're square waves. It's not a tidal wave. It's not going to pull you under. The waves are pulling you in different directions, and your ego is barking at you saying, you got to do this, you got to do that. If you don't do this, this ain't going to happen. If you do that, that's going to happen. If you stop affirming for them, they going to forget about your motherfucking ass. We're not listening to that anymore. We're just going to... We're going to relax. We're going to float downstream, as Abraham Hicks says. We're going to be like, that's doing something different. That's changing your fucking mind. How is it changing your mind? Because you made the conscious decision to say, I am not going to fall back into that loop. And then what you did, you just relaxed. Whatever emotion, breathe through it. Any thoughts that come up, if you don't care for them, yeah, it's just a thought. I am who I am. I'm pure consciousness. I'm just floating in the waves. That takes effort. To relax takes motherfucking effort. Maybe not for everyone. I'm sure a lot of you in here, okay? You enlightened, sexy motherfuckers. Because I know that you all are enlightened, sexy motherfuckers. But if you ask someone else, or if you were just even observing someone else, and they're like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta work overtime, I gotta hit the gym, whoa. You have to? Who said you fucking have to? What about someone who's just calm and relaxed? Yeah, I could go to the gym. I don't feel like going. I'll just go tomorrow. Yeah, I don't feel like doing anything today. I'm just going to sit and scroll TikTok. I'm just watching Netflix. But I know who I am, and I know that what I want is already done. You're not taught to do that. So the motherfuckers that are running around like a chicken with the head cut off, like, right? It's easier for them to do that because that's what they're programmed to do. You have to do this to get something. No, you don't. If anything, I would say the more relaxed you are, you're more in the flow state, right? Again, with the waves, okay? You relax, you just float on your back, you just let the waves carry you. But it also requires trust. Oh, here we go with the puzzle piece. I was yapping for 1 hour. Well, time doesn't exist. Come on. All right, here we go. Yeah, cool. That's what we got. So to just relax, to be lazy, to sit and scroll on TikTok knowing that you are the Lord and there is none else and everything is already, it's like you're sitting, I like to use this metaphor, okay? And I think I've said it before. You ever been on one of those water slides at the water park? And it's like you sit in like this big inflatable donut looking thing, and it's like so peaceful, and it's like you're just relaxing, the breeze is blowing, and you're just like, oh, you're enjoying that. Okay? That's like a metaphor for you scrolling TikTok. I already know that I'm gonna hit the pool at some point, right? From Minnesota down to the fucking Gulf on the Mississippi River. Just floating. Everything that I want is here. Everything you want is downstream. You're not gonna have to fight against it. You're not going to have to try to swim to the boat, okay? You're going to lay back and you're going to trust that, yeah, well, I'm going to make my way to the boat. I'm going to just relax now instead of exerting myself trying to do a million things at once, because that's coming from the ego. You're programmed. And all the programs, for the most part, are to make someone subordinate to someone or something else, okay? Especially in religions. Now, this is not to say if you're religious, that's an issue. You know, everyone, do you, boo. But, like, a lot of times, I'm going to segue, because I just brought another topic just came to mind. I was yapping for 1 hour. Holy motherfuck. That's what the third house Mercury does. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Anyway. So when someone is like super offended by the manifestation community, when like someone is saying, oh, I'm the Lord and there isn't else, or I'm God, or you're all gods, okay, that can be offensive to someone because they're programmed that they are unworthy. Okay, there are some religions that I've heard from people, okay, that they cannot even like speak like the name of God because it's like they're not worthy to, and they're told that, and like to them they don't think that there's anything wrong with that. They're like, well, but we're not allowed to say that. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Okay, I don't know for every religion, but I have heard that. Okay, or it's like you oh my god, I'll go for me, Roman Catholic. Okay, the priest knows better. What does the priest know better than I know myself? Nothing, right? Oh, you have to confess your sins. What sins? I'm perfect, motherfucker. You had to get baptized because original sin, Adam and Eve. Like, you good? What the fuck that got to do with me? And that never sat right with me. So even with that, okay, my personal experience, not only hearing from like about how other religions are, you know, programming people, right, to think that they're not worthy. Roman Catholic, original sin. You have to be baptized to take away the sin of Adam and Eve. The fuck? So you're not worthy to just for being born. That's already, it's like, well, why did I have to get baptized? Because of original sin. And you know, whoa, my dude, how wild is that? That's like saying someone you have no idea who the fuck they are. They done fucked up, and somehow that you're not worthy because someone you don't even know who purportedly existed thousands of years before you were even born. Like make it make sense. It won't. Okay, you can't say the name God. You had to be baptized. You had to confess your sins. You know, you had to pray for that. And if you're a good little motherfucker, God is gonna grant you your wishes like a fucking genie from Aladdin. No. Okay, so with religions and like even with like, you know, teachers and shit like that. Oh, they know better. You have to listen to them. Why the fuck do I have to listen to you? I don't even know who the fuck you is. How wild is that shit? You have to go to school and obey a motherfucker that you never met before. You're just supposed to sit down in the classroom and be like, okay, yeah, you're the boss. No, you, the fuck? Now, me personally, I never really like fell into that stuff because it never sat right with me. And I was like, ain't no one telling me what to do or how to think. Like, what does this have to do? Like, I was always like that. I don't remember a part where I was like, okay, yeah, this is, I'm just gonna obey. Why? Who the fuck are you? You ain't shit. I'm gonna sit in a classroom. There's some teacher that I don't fucking know. I'm gonna listen to them. Why, bitch? Who the fuck are you? You ain't feeding me. You didn't change my diaper when I was a child. Who the fuck are you? And even in some cases, like caretakers, should you listen to them? I mean, if they're cool and you love them and they're looking out for you, you know, I'm sure in some cases that could be beneficial. Like, you know, don't drink this bleach. If they fucking tell you that, yeah, they're looking out for you. But like, you know them. You see what I'm saying? You have a rapport with them. I'm gonna be a child in a room with a fucking adult that I never met, and I'm gonna just take your word? Who the fuck is you, bitch? You ain't shit. The fuck? Why should I listen to you? How asinine is that? Everything, I mean, I don't want to say everything because it's not everything, but like most things, like all the shit that I mentioned is like, yo, it does not make sense. But all of these things have one thing in common. You are not worthy. Someone else knows better than you. You have to listen. You have to obey. Right? It's like you're programmed that. So then when someone opens up Pandora's box and they discover reality co-creation, I'm God. Whoa, religious beliefs come kicking in, causing that interference pattern with the waves. I'm the operant power. Whoa, interference, contradicting waves because you had to obey fucking teachers and all this shit, right? It's gonna cause that in a lot of times, okay? Because it's like, yo, honestly, it's so different. It's like day and night. It's like day and night. Just from the way that you've been taught, the way that you've been programmed. What are we doing here? Okay. The way that you've been taught, the way that you've been programmed, okay, is like that you have to obey someone else. Someone else knows better than you. The religion knows better than you. The teacher knows better than you. All these things. So when you first start coming into manifestation, I can say this from personal experience. Like I said, I was never down with none of that because I was like, that shit's sus as fuck. Original sin, I gotta obey a teacher. I don't even know this motherfucker from Adam. No pun intended. Adam and Eve, original sin. But anyway, so like even then, it's like because it was so embedded that you have to take the 3D so seriously that even coming into manifestation, I'm like, wait, it could be this easy? Like even I had like, I had not doubts, but I was like, okay, I wanted to prove it to myself, or maybe my ego did, right? My ego wanted to prove it, I guess, because the ego was, my ego was weird because I was always very like reliant in the way that I would think, right? Like I said, all those things. So my ego was already kind of on board with don't tell me what to do. Who the fuck are you? But then it's like also the programs like, oh, the 3D is real. You have to do this because that was the only thing that my ego really saw. So even when, before I knew about conscious reality co-creation, I thought it was psychic ability. I had to go back in and show my ego metaphorically. I'm like, okay, ego, remember when we said this was psychic ability? Yes, that's true because we still identify with psychic because it's a story that's serving me. But also it's like I was creating it. Look at all this proof. I named bad shit to my ego. I named good shit. I said when I thought of this happened. When I was like feeling a certain way and thinking this certain thing, like this is what played out. Like I gave it evidence to back up my claim that yes, I'm creating everything. And then my ego was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay, boss. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to, this is just my opinion, right? If you prove it to yourself, that is the best evidence that you can possibly have, okay? Don't take my word, don't take anyone else's word, okay? Like, it's really, you have to experience it. Just because everyone has been bombarded with all of this fucking bullshit since birth, that we have to do this, we have to obey, that the 3D has power over us, that it's like when you really get into the manifesting, you're like, no, I'm the operant power. It might be a little hard to fathom. Not that you don't believe it, but it's kind of like the ego has all this proof from what we've been indoctrinated with about how the 3D is real and we have to obey, and like we're just, I don't know, like we don't have our own say in what happens in our experiences. Things are kind of like preempted, okay? Even the word fate, right? It's kind of like, yeah, that could be a double-edged sword. It could be like romantic in a way, like, oh, it's fated, or it could be like, well, that's your fate, like, you know what I mean? But again, it's up to your interpretation, right? Because you're the only one that's assigning anything a meaning. So it's like everything can be positive or everything can be detrimental. It just depends on the way you look at it. So the best way for you to prove this, that you are the operant power, no matter what a school, a fucking a caretaker, a fucking teacher, a fucking priest, a fucking whoever, church person, I don't fucking know, okay? Whatever your situation is, when you start really looking at all the times that you have created things in your experience, whether bad or good, whether it's before you knew about manifestation or not, that's what I recommend you do, so that you can really change your mind and you can get out of that matrix mindset. Because the matrix mindset, in my opinion, is anything where it's just you're running off of a program that you didn't discover through experience. Okay? So, how do we go with this? You're taught religion, okay? You're taught this is who God is, or these gods mean that, whatever, if it's a poly religion or if it's like a monotheistic religion, okay? You're taught that this is, right? Until and unless you have your own experience with anything that is like similar to that, like if you have your experience with like God, okay? And I mean the power God, which is all consciousness. Until you have that experience, all you can do is repeat back what you have been taught, but it doesn't mean anything to you. It doesn't hold weight because you're just saying this. Just like I could say I pledge allegiance to the flag. I don't know what the fuck that even means, bro. Some propaganda. I mean, yeah, but like it doesn't hold weight because I don't take it seriously. I'm just like, okay, yeah, I can recite that. Just like I can recite the words to a song. Okay, does the song mean anything? No, I just like the beat, and I done listened to it so many times that now I know the lyrics, but I don't give a fuck about the lyrics because I'm here for the beat. I'll be there for the beat. I don't give a fuck about no lyrics. I don't care. I like some instrumentals, you know what I'm saying? I think everything should just be instrumentals. I don't want to hear lyrics. For me personally, because I like to make my own lyrics. So, either which way, nothing is going to matter, okay, until you have that experience where there's something that exists beyond what you can explain by merely reciting something that someone else told you, okay? So in schools, Revolutionary War, that's what we were hearing. Founding fathers, holy Jesus, motherfuckers wearing like knee-high socks and like the fucking big white wigs and shit. Like that shit looked creepy as fuck. It looked really creepy. I was like, why the fuck am I looking at that? I don't give a fuck. What this got to do with me? The same thing Adam and Eve. I don't give a fuck who ate a motherfucking fruit in the fucking garden. That got shit to do with me. You're naked in a garden with your fucking husband or wife and you ashamed of it? Fuck you. That ain't how I roll. The fuck? None of that makes sense. Make it make sense. What does it have to do with me? But they tell you all this shit, founding fathers, religion, God, like, right? You have to pray to God to get some. No, motherfucker. Okay? You're told that to keep you in alignment. Okay? No one ever, they tell you what to think, but they don't tell you how to think. And that's like a famous quote that I've seen all over the place. So I know a lot of you have seen that. So they tell you, Columbus discovered America. The founding fathers in 1770, whatever the fuck, I want to know about it. Okay? Civil War, all this shit, I don't know. In the UK and England, I think they have 1066 that they always hear about. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I ain't in the UK, but I would always hear about that, okay? So, whatever the fuck propaganda that you're hearing, depending on where you're at, it's like, how does that benefit you? I mean, really, how does it benefit you? Does it tell you how to deal with a thought that you don't like and it's causing an emotion that you don't like even further? Does it tell you how to sit and really deep breathe and exhale until those emotions are gone and until you can say, I'm the awareness observing the thought, I'm not the thought, because that serves you. That directly serves your fucking experience, but no one fucking teaches you that. I mean, yes, I'm sure they teach that in like, you know, certain institutions and things like that, but like mainstream, at least in like the United States, I don't know for other countries, okay, they do not teach that. They don't teach you how to deal with your fucking self. They teach you what to think. So to come out of that mentality, okay, which we're just boom, boom, boom. We're like, it's like jackhammered, right? Bringing back the jackhammer. You know what I'm saying? It's like boom, boom, boom. And you're like, whoa. You getting pounded since birth from all of these things saying you're not worthy. You got to do this. You got to ask permission. What the fuck was that shit in school? You got to raise your hand to ask to go to the fucking bathroom to take a piss? Whoa. What is that? That to me don't sound right, bro. Why you need to ask to take a fucking piss? What the fuck? Can you imagine, bro? That shit to me don't sound right. Okay? Oh, you need to get the hall pass. I remember that shit. There was like a hall pass. Can I use the bathroom? Bro, you asking to go use the bathroom. You got to get a pass. Like, wow. Fuck that. That to me is really psychotic. To me. Okay? Seriously. So to come from that type of indoctrination where you got to ask permission for every little thing. Okay? Then to come to the mindset that like, yo, I'm doing all of this, those rules that motherfuckers try to indoctrinate me with are not even fucking real. Because nothing is real, right? The only thing that's real is what you assume to be true. So if you just assume that that's not real, then it's not going to be real for you. But since this is what we're talking about, coming out of the mindset, changing your mind, that's what you up against, that conflicting wave pattern. Like I said in the beginning, you up against all of that. So it can be a little like, whoa, I could go to the bathroom and I don't need to ask no one. You know what I'm saying? It's totally different. Oh, I don't need to do that because I'm creating everything. And if I just don't believe in that thing, then there's nothing for me to not do. Right? Ooh, hey, Empress Jasmine. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the gift. So it's like you have to really be solid in knowing that everything is coming from you. And because you're not taught that, likely those are, for the most part, those are where the doubts are coming from, right? Like you were never taught how to deal with yourself. You were never taught how to do something as an individual, as a sovereign. You were taught things from group mentality, okay? You had to sit in a classroom with like, I don't even know how many other motherfuckers, 20, 30, okay? Like you had to do that since you're fucking what, 6? 5? I don't fucking know. You had to sit there and be with these other motherfuckers, and everyone was treated the same. You were treated like you're less than, okay? You were never treated like a sovereign. You never treated like an individual. You fucking weren't, honestly. Because motherfuckers, most motherfuckers are running off of societal programs. Even motherfuckers that are talking about manifestation, a lot of them are still running off societal programs. And I'm like, damn, you shit. Not everyone, because there's a lot of motherfuckers that know what the fuck they're talking about, but the motherfuckers that know what they're talking about are all saying the same thing. You decide what it is you want. You decide the meaning of things that you are seeing in the 3D, and that's it. Only you can do that. Not the homie, not some god in the fucking sky, not the teacher, not the fucking doctor. You decide. If you don't like it, it is only you. It is only up to you for you to rewrite it in that moment. Okay? So it's like, to change your mind is to really, what I mean by that is not change your minds like, oh, I want a house in Hawaii compared to now I want a house in Bali. No, I don't mean changing your mind like that. I mean to change your mind in terms of like the way that you really think on like a daily level. Because remember, like manifestation doesn't shut off. So if someone comes into manifesting to like I said, you know, they Google search how to get X back, sit in a closet affirm for 10 hours. Okay, sure. Yep. Let me know how that goes for you. Just, or actually don't. I don't want to know, because I already know how that's going. If that's all you're doing, you can get what you want, but you're not going to be able to maintain it. Because whatever shit thought that you had, which created that situation, whatever program was going on, if you didn't fully annihilate that, just dismantle it from your fucking psyche entirely, the same thing is gonna fucking happen. And here's a new thing, right? Changing your mind, okay? Motherfuckers have been saying, I've been seeing this, there is no subconscious mind. Okay. Ooh, thank you for the gift, Angie. Appreciate you. When someone says there is no subconscious mind, sure, they're right in theory, because if they don't believe that there's a subconscious mind, then it's not going to play out for them. But I'm just really curious when someone says that there is no subconscious mind and they're still unable to get exactly what they want, or they get like bits and pieces of it. Like, okay, so explain that then. If you didn't have a subconscious in there, or call it whatever the fuck you want, okay, call it whatever you want, call it a conflicting wave, then how did you not get what you want? Because there's something subconscious in there. Even if the subconscious thing is only the timing, or there needs to be a logical sequence of events, okay, then it's still going on. It's like, it's part of the the parameters of the software. It's part of the operating system, okay? Conscious, subconscious, conscious mind, keyboard, Google search, type in, thought, command, subconscious mind, images, right? Search results, the things that you have mostly been dominantly thinking about, right? It's going to come up, and it's going to come up in an image or a feeling, okay? So if you don't believe in a subconscious mind, you do you, but it's like, okay, then explain to me how things are working, you know? And I guess to them it's gonna look like, yeah, I just thought of it and then it happened. Okay, well, all right, you know. So that's a conversation that I don't even want to have when motherfuckers start saying there is no subconscious mind. Can I just affirm that I don't have limiting beliefs? You go ahead and do that. Go right ahead and do that. And don't tell me what happens, okay? Tell someone who gives a shit. Because if you're gonna say, can I just say I have no limiting beliefs? Yes, you can say whatever the fuck you want in theory. But when that sneaker wave comes up, that's it, okay? And this is not being like, you know, this is not being a fucking asshole. This is just saying, well, then if there's no subconscious mind and you can just sit and affirm that you have no limiting beliefs, then don't talk about it, just do it. And show everyone what you did. But no one has been able to do that. So when someone is able to do that, sure, I'll listen. But no one has been able to do that. They just, I don't know what they're doing. They're being defiant, or I don't know. Because yes, I'm all for Delulu, but there's still, not in every instance, in certain instances, you're still gonna have those sneaker waves. That's why, and that's why, like, for me, what I'd like to say is that it's kind of like the apps, right? One app, okay, your weather app might be running fine on your phone, but then another app is just, it has some malware in it, okay? Those are all, where are they stored, bro? How can you even recall a memory? It's in your subconscious, okay? Like, that's it. How are you putting together things in your mind that you have not experienced in the 3D, okay? It's like consciously you think, I want to be on the beach and do this and do, you still have a stored image of what a beach even fucking looks like from your subconscious. Even if you've never been to that particular beach before, you still have an awareness of what the fuck the beach is. It didn't just appear out of fucking nowhere. There's still an awareness. It's the operating system, okay? So it's like your conscious mind, you're typing the search bar, okay? Subconscious mind is what you're getting in the search history, but there's different, like, you might not have a contradicting story about your weather app, and so it's running smoothly, but then in your fitness app there's a contradicting story, so the app keeps glitching and you're like, what the fuck, like what is wrong with this app? And then you see what the issue is in that particular sector. So I'm not saying that everyone has a subconscious belief in every area. I am saying that if you have noticed a pattern, that's a subconscious belief. Where the fuck was that stored? The only one who can recognize a pattern is your mind, because to God's self there is no pattern, because nothing ever happened before. Nothing can happen in the future. Everything is only happening now. The only awareness is now. So where did that shit come from then? It came from the mind. And your ego is aware of the mind. Your God self is just aware that everything just is, right? But the fact that you can even have a memory that a pattern happened, that's the software. That's not the God self. And if you really were, like, I'm not knocking, like, if you could be in a meditative state, like, all the time. Like, there's people that do it. But for the most part, most individuals are not in a meditative state all the fucking time. Okay, yes, they're always connected to God, source, the all universe, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Okay, but are they always in that mindset? No, they're fucking not. Because we're in a fucking game. And our avatar is maneuvered by the software, the apps, the search history. It's all energetic, but that's what's maneuvering. That's what's having the awareness. This is a thought compared to this is an emotion. If you didn't have a subconscious mind, how would you even know the difference? Where's that shit stored? The God self is just like, so where did that come from? If you want to sit and affirm, I have no limiting beliefs, I have no subconscious mind. Okay, like I said, if that's something someone wants to do, then go right ahead. I don't want to know about it until you actually can say, like, this is what it is to not have a mind. Again, that would still be something that someone would need to experience. And everyone, I think, is able to experience those levels of God, right? Where you're just in pure, it's like the flow state. It's like you're in a place of bliss, deep meditation, or you're just in the moment, you're listening to music, or you're just with your friends. It's like time seems to stand still because you're in the moment, you're not concentrated on time. So yes, is that touching the God awareness and pure alignment? It absolutely is. But then it's like, oh, I have to defrost the burgers or some shit. Where did that come from? It came from your subconscious mind. You fucking try to sit there and tell me you don't have a subconscious mind. How did you even remember that there's burgers in the fucking freezer that have to get defrosted then? I mean, seriously. Like, you know, I'm all for Delulu, but let's just not, like, that to me is a little extreme, okay? So if you want to sit there and say that you have no limiting beliefs, and then a sneaker wave comes up, it drags you into the motherfucking ocean, my suggestion is lay back, on your back, deep breathe through it, and be like, okay. Yep, that's it. Now, I'm not saying you can't get rid of limiting beliefs. Okay, you can. Which is you're not fighting with them. Again, you're just tuning your attention elsewhere. You keep tuning your attention elsewhere. So if there's a contradicting belief, okay, well, all beliefs are limiting in my opinion, and it makes sense. If I believe that I'm a millionaire, then I'm limiting that I'm a billionaire, right? Because one or the other, okay? A belief that the sky is blue is limiting from me saying the sky is purple, right? Everything that you believe is limiting. It's just a matter of what limit are you going to accept that you perceive is, you know, beneficial for you compared to detrimental. So let's start with that. So you decide, and again, the decision is, it's not coming from the God self, it's coming from the minds, from the fucking software that's piloting around the vessel. The God self is like, all's well, everything is perfect. Like and unlike are the same thing, different degree, right? All poles can be reconciled because it's everything. And it's like, to call it God, source, universe, to me, it really cheapens it, because it's like a level where you're not going to really be able to understand, or anyone is able to understand, okay? You're just not. While you're in a vessel, there's still a limit. And yes, you can touch that frequency hanging out with Dimitri or in deep meditation or whatever if you're in the flow state. But, like, is it constant while you're in a vessel? In my opinion, no. Can you be there majority? Predominantly? Okay, can you be there for the majority of your time predominantly? Sure. But what does that do? It takes pattern recognition, okay? That's a thought. Last time I thought that, I really liked the way that it turned out, so let me turn my focus elsewhere. Where did that come from? It came from your fucking subconscious mind. You had to remember something about that thought, why you don't like it, to even switch it out in the first fucking place. I don't have any limiting beliefs. What's your name? Mufasa. Oh, so that means your name is not Simba. Limiting belief. Now what, bitch? The fuck out my face with that bullshit. Come on. Every belief is limiting. It's just, which belief do you want to experience? Period. Okay? So, anyway. That was like a mini rant. I don't know. I'm just saying. But that fucking serves everyone, because if you really think about it, how is that shit not true? To even have an awareness that you don't like something, you're already in the software. You're not at that God state, because the God state, there's nothing to like or dislike. Okay? So even like, what, you know, and I say I'm the Lord and there isn't else, right? But that's really, it's like what I am, who you are. Okay? It is beyond even what, from the ego's perspective, we can call Lord or God or source or universe. It's like a power that like you can't describe it, because it's everything. So this thing that is so indescribable is, you're an extension of it. You're just having an experience in the humanoid vessel, in the avatar, as this identity, okay? And that's it. But that power, the more that you tune into it, okay? And yes, you can use the ego to work for you. You can use the thoughts and the emotions, the belief systems. You can use that to work for you. But they're still going to be there as long as you're in a fucking body. The fuck? They're still going to be there. You have to believe that you're on the live stream right now in order for it to play out. But it's a limiting belief. Because if you're on the live stream, that means that you're not jerking off. Unless you are, and then I don't want to know about it, because that's a little fucking weird. But hey, okay? Not on my live stream. Do this in your own time, you know what I'm saying? But there's still, right? I'm eating sushi, so now I'm not eating a burger. Is that I mean, let's be reasonable. Come on. So, to really change your mind is to have the awareness that yes, the mind is a tool. Okay, it's software for the hardware, and how you change it is in the beginning stages where you're first, kind of getting into this manifestation stuff, and you're not in it for a quick fix. Like, I want to manifest a text message. Yeah, good luck with that too. Let me know how that goes. Actually, don't. Like I said, I don't want to know about none of that. Okay. Because you don't want a text message. That's why. You don't want a fucking text message, So, stop lying to yourself, okay? But however you came into manifestation, whether it was for a quick fix and you evolved and you're like, okay, now, I know that I am pure conscious awareness, and what I want is to just, have a glow up in the software and just be an entirely different motherfucker. I'm going to be, as close to God, source, universe, as I possibly can every day in every fucking way, right? When you make that decision, then the next steps to really be aware, like I said, we want to look out for sneaker waves. So if there's something in your experience, number one, is there a pattern in any sector? Okay, think of all of the apps. I always say this, and I'm going to keep fucking saying it because I know that I have like new people here and things like that. So if you don't know, now you know. So write down all of your apps: career, health, finance, friendships, relationships, whatever it is. Okay, all the different apps that you can think of. Are they going well? Okay, so the apps that are going well, I have a perfect body. Yeah, okay. You really don't need to touch that. That you just continue to do what you've been doing, unless you want to upgrade something in it, then sure. But you look at the apps, the ones that are doing well, okay, cool. How are you? This is the best, right? Because experience is the best teacher, like I said. So the things that are going right for you, this is number one, okay? If you want a software glow up, okay? Look at the things that are going right. What's the formula that you're already doing for that? Take that and apply it to the areas that you are perceiving are not going well. Okay, so if you just assume that you have your ideal body, if you notice, ooh, thank you for the gift, appreciate you. If you just assume, okay, that you have your ideal body, and you're not thinking against it, and you love what you see every time you look in the mirror, you're already in it, right? You're not doing anything extra. It's natural for you, right? Feeling is a secret. Neville Goddard, okay? It feels natural. You're just like, yeah, my body is perfect. Okay, so then that's your assumption. You assume that when you look in the mirror, you're gonna like what you see, right? You assume that every outfit you put on, every fit, you're like, damn, I'm the shit, okay? That's it. So now let's take this into your career sector, okay? How are you feeling about your career? Oh, you don't like it. Your boss hates you. Your coworkers are fucking cunts. Whatever the fuck it is, okay? Well, that's natural too, isn't it? So there's gonna be a natural sense of dread every time you go into the office and interact with someone. So how do you change that? Okay? Every time I go in the office, I like the energy. I like the vibe. Just like you like what you see when you look in the mirror, that's how you change it. You just, it's simple. The simple part is finding out what the issue is. Now, the interesting part is like you got to maintain it, even if you don't see evidence in the 3D right away. Okay, and this is where a lot of individuals, they tend to get stuck, like I said, those waves, right? Because what you're doing, to bring it back around from the metaphor that I said in the beginning, the waves, how it's contradicting, it's causing the square waves because there's two different settings, like, the two different hemispheres. I like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, I like that, whatever it is. Okay, they're commingling. So how you change the pattern of the wave is that you have to be mindful to not follow intuition or logic or patterns. You have an awareness that, like, the former pattern was this, but how do I be constructive and change it? So every time you go into your office, my coworkers love me, my boss loves me, it's always good energy in here. Just like something that's going right. Every time you look at your bank balance, you smile. Oh yeah, my millions, my billions right here, right? Okay, it's the same thing. So then just shift that to your career. If it's with your relationships, it's like, okay, your relationship sector, your friendship sector, very similar. I have the best friends in the entire world. Oh man, I know that if I call them, they're always here for me. They always have my back. Right? Oh, the relationship. This motherfucker ain't shit. They never pick up when I call them. Whoa, sneaker wave. And then you wonder why your affirmation's not working for this motherfucker, because you're not viewing them in the same neutralness as you are with your friends. Your friends, it's neutral in a way that you expect to be ghosted or cheated on, because if that's your set point, then it's going to be neutral for you. But it's like when you are looking at that, comparing it to how you view your friendships, and you're like, yeah, my friends always have my back, they're always there for me, right? Well, you're going to carry that over to your relationship sector. You're going to say, this motherfucker always has my back. He's always there. She always picks up my calls. They would never leave me hanging. Whatever it is for you, whoever it is. Okay? And you just implement the same tactics that you're doing for the shit that's going right into the shit that you perceive is going wrong. That's it. And the more that you do that, you are turning the wave operations, I guess, the focus of the waves. You're driving energy into that direction. So now what that's doing is dissolving that interference pattern. That's all it's doing. Okay? But you have to be mindful of it at first, because you've been so used to thinking that maybe your coworkers don't like you and the person is not interested. But then you've already successfully manifested good areas, and the good areas, I don't think it's bad or good, but you know what I mean? It's like you've successfully manifested things that you're content with. You bring that same energy to the things you're not content with. If the formula worked there, why can't it work there? And then that leads me to another thing where someone, a lot of individuals are like, well, what affirmations would you say? I'm not you. I'm not you. So it's like the way that I talk to myself in my mind is not the way that you talk to yourself in your mind, or your homie talks to themselves in their mind. It's like everyone is different. Maybe you don't like affirmations. Maybe you prefer to just go into a meditation and clear the cache entirely and not think about it. Then you do that. So what is comfortable for you? Do you like to visualize? Would you prefer affirmations? Because you don't need to do anything other than decide, but you do have to be mindful to not go down that same rabbit hole of shit thoughts that you had about the thing, even when you're not actively affirming. So an example of this, okay? Then this is where you change your minds. Like I said, this is where you change your fucking mind. So-and-so doesn't text you back right away. In fact, it's the next day. How are you going to look at that? Immediate, knee-jerk reaction in your mind. How are you looking at that? Oh no, they found someone else. Oh no, they're ghosting me. Oh, they must be out cheating. Okay. That's your dominant set point. They don't text you back until the next day. You might not even notice, maybe. You're like, because you're too busy doing whatever the fuck you doing. You glance at your phone. Oh, they didn't text me. Oh, well, they probably fell asleep. They'll text me tomorrow. Totally different. You see? So that shows you where you're at. Your instinctual thing will show you where you're at. And you don't need any proof in the 3D because the circumstance is neutral. They could text you back or not text you back, and you're still going to see their actions or lack thereof from the lens that you specifically are looking at it. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so if your immediate reaction to something is something that you perceive as negative, then that's your sneaker wave. So you got to be like, oh shit, okay, let me change that. And then you have to be mindful to do that. So it turns out that you had the awareness, you immediately thought, oh no, they must be ghosting you, they must be cheating, whatever. Then you're like, oh shit, wait, I used to think like that. But if I really want to change my mind, I cannot think like that anymore, because then that would be the same mind over and over again. So let me change it. They fell asleep. They'll get back to me tomorrow. Before I even wake up, I'm going to see a message and an apology from them. Okay. Now, here's the thing. That message and that apology might come when you wake up. You look at your phone, you're like, oh, you smiling like a little bashful idiot. You're like, oh, okay. But what if it doesn't? What if you don't see a result right away? Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's where motherfuckers get tripped up, because they're doing it and they're expecting it immediately. But what is that? That's excess potential, because the very act of expectation means that you don't have it. Because if you're expecting something, you don't have it. So you're expecting, you look at your phone, oh, it didn't work, manifestation is bullshit, fuck this shit. Well, now you just went back to the same way of thinking, right? So what is your duty if you don't see? Ooh, thank you for the roses, appreciate you. So what is your duty when you don't see a result right away? You persist. You persist in the new story, no matter fucking what. It's all mental. It doesn't matter what's happening in the 3D. It doesn't matter what's not happening in the 3D. What is the story that you want to play out, and you go with that. I appreciate you. Thank you for the roses. You persist. Okay? Now, oh my god, there's this song, I don't even know, it's like, I think it's from like the 60s or something, and I'm hearing it. I don't know if it's significant to someone, but I don't know why I had to share this, but I just heard it's oh my god, I think it's by someone called Mickey and Sylvia, and it's like, and I could sing, but quite awfully. It's not going to sound good, so I'm not going to sing it, but it's like what do you do if you call for your lover boy and he doesn't answer? And then she's like, lover boy, and then the dude is like, and if he still doesn't answer, and she's like, oh, lover boy. Like, it's like that, okay? I'm pretty sure it's like by an artist called Mickey and Sylvia. I'm not sure what the song is called, but I just fucking heard that, okay? So if they text you, or if they don't, I should say, if you're expecting that text and they don't, and they still don't text you, what are you gonna do? You're gonna keep going with, oh, lover boy or lover girl or whoever the fuck, right? Whatever is applicable to your situation. You're still going to fucking do it, whether they answer immediately in the 3D or not. You're gonna go there mentally. That's it. You persist in the new story. But the ego, because like I said from the beginning, you're programmed to expect instantaneous results. You had to do hard physical effort in order to get something. Your ego is gonna likely fight you on that. It's gonna say, bitch, they didn't answer. They still didn't answer. And you're like, I'm calling my lover boy. Okay? And that's your only duty. But you do it in your mind. I'm not saying blow up a motherfucking phone. I mean, I'm not saying don't do that if you have a valid reason. Hey, you know what I mean? But it's like, you just fucking stay with the mental narrative. As long as the mental narrative is not the same shit that you've been thinking about that situation your whole entire life. Ooh, thank you. Appreciate the roses. Then that's all you have to do. Okay. Let's, I don't know what is going on in here. Cool. Okay. Yeah, there's been like a weird uptick of bots. Like, I don't even fucking know. The last video that I posted, bro, like more. Ooh, thank you. Oh, that looked rather sexy on me. And don't I look good with a handlebar mustache? Okay, so anyway, there was like some weird uptick in fucking bots talking about some books that I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know. Whatever. They engage in with my videos, which is adding to the algorithm. So, hey, bots, do your thing. But it's like really fucking weird. I'm like, what is going on? And now they're like in the chat too. It's so fucking weird. But anyway. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. The song is Love is Strange by Mickey and Sylvia. Thank you so much. There we go. Love is Strange. Thank you. So maybe that song is pertinent to someone. I don't know. Okay? But that's all I just fucking heard that. Okay? So if there is no response from the 3D, ooh, thank you. I love that. Damn, I'm so sexy looking like a cowboy. Okay? So if they don't answer, you still call them in your mind. I call it those things which be not as though they were. Okay? And in that quote, I might add, he don't say, I calleth those things which be not, and so they, as though they were, and then go looking for them. It's like, no, I just calleth them, and then they just be there. So if love a boy, love a girl, love a person, if they ain't answering right away, then it's your duty to just keep going in your mind. But you're not going to do that in a way where you're begging or pleading, because that's excess potential, because it's coming from a place of lack, like I said in the beginning. Okay? So it's like, you have to call it as though it's like your dominant expectation. You have to, okay, I'm gonna use this example. Everyone can relate to this. I know you can. When there's a motherfucker that's obsessed with you. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate you. If there's a motherfucker that has been obsessed with you and you have no interest in them, okay, you know how annoying that is. You see their name pop up, you're like, oh God. Like, what the fuck? They're so annoying. Oh my God. Why are they so obsessed with me? What, you've all fucking had instances like that where you were just not interested in like, right? How about you bring that energy to the motherfucker that you want? Like, yeah, of course they're going to hit me up again. Because you know that motherfucker that you're not interested in, if you don't respond to them, they're going to double text you, triple text you. You're just assuming that. So why not assume that about the person that you're interested in? They didn't get back to me. Yeah, they're going to double text me. You know what? Matter of fact, they're going to show up to my house because they were so upset that they didn't respond to the Lord last night. So they're going to show up. Oh, they didn't show up that day. Oh, I'm the Lord and there is none else. I call it the thing which be not as though it was. Yeah, they're obsessed with me. I know that they're going to show up because they can't just go even a second without being with me. You keep up with the narrative in your mind. No matter what you're feeling, it doesn't matter. You keep up with that narrative, but you don't put it in a way where you're begging, please call me. Oh, you're going to hire an Etsy witch to do a spell on them. I mean, and listen, spell work, yes, it can work, right? But it all comes down to your belief in it. But you're not going to crash out to the extent where you're going to feel like you need to do that. You just be like, yeah, they're obsessed with me. Okay, cool. That's it. You don't need to do anything, but just assume that they're going to keep reaching out to you the way that motherfucker that you're not interested in keeps reaching out to you. That's it. So start looking, like I said, in the apps that are going well for you, look at how you are interfacing with things that you perceive are going well with you, and start taking that into things that you don't perceive are going well. So if there's someone who's obsessed with you, you know they're always gonna hit you up and blah blah blah, You take that narrative and you put it on the motherfucker that you want. Like, you know, but you have to stick with it. So even if they don't answer right away, you call it the things which be not as though they were. You still persist in your mind. But also that phrase does not state that you go make a burner account. I call it the thing which be not. I'm a spy on them in the process. No. Okay, that ain't fucking happened. That was not how it was written. So it can be simple, but like implementing it and really being mindful to implement it, that might be, you know, an area where you have to like be on your A game with it, okay? Because everything is your perception. Because it's like, you know, I'm all for affirmations and coaching and tarot card readings and psychic. Well, if you want to do that, if that's something that you feel is going to serve you in the moment, then that it's going to be something that is moved through you, right? Okay. But if it's something you're doing in desperation, I gotta call the tarot reader and get a reading because they didn't respond right away. Ooh, thank you. I love that. Little galaxy. Okay. It's like, that's all it is. It's coming from a place of fear, of lack. So if you're inspired, like, you know, I just want to see what's going on with this situation. I'm gonna, you know, get a tarot card read. I'm gonna get a psychic reading. I'm gonna get a palm read. Okay. That's different, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But look at the place of anything that you do, whether it's, you know, a psychic reading, a spell, you know, whatever, even affirmations or visualizations are like kind of fourth dimensional things, right? That you might be placing power in. If you feel inclined to do affirmations for like 12 hours, then do it. But you should feel pleasant while you're doing the thing. You should feel calm when you're reaching out to get that reading or that coaching call. You should be like, yeah, you know what? Whatever they're going to say, like, I know I got this, but maybe I just need to hear it from someone else. That's a totally different energy than, I got to call this person. Oh my God, I got to get this reading. It's like, whoa, that's too frenzied. That's jackhammer in the wrong direction. Okay? So what you would want to do is just stick with the narrative and don't waver from that narrative in your mind. And the more that you're able to stick to this narrative, the easier it's going to be for you to keep up with it. And that is how you change your mind. So if you're someone who you gotta do a drive-by outside motherfucking house, if they don't get back to you right away, then you're gonna refrain from doing that, even if it seems out of character, right? Because remember, you're changing the narrative. You're not that identity anymore. You're someone totally different. So you don't need to behave in that same way. You can. I mean, you know, I don't tell motherfuckers what to do, but like, change happens in the moment. The biggest change happens in the moment when you would react in the way that you always would have, and you perceive it as not favorable, or if it's something where you're like, yeah, I'm doing this, I know I shouldn't, I know I'm going to feel bad about it tomorrow, but I'm going to do it. Okay, well, number one, if you did spiral, if you did crash out, whatever, don't focus on that. Just be mindful not to do it again. Okay? It's like, stop trying to reach your hand in the cookie jar. Okay? Stop. Like, but it takes discipline, because if you're assuming the person doesn't want to be with you, you could be the most amazing motherfucker, okay? But you assume they don't want to be with you. So a reason is going to come up for them to not want to be with you. They might tell you, wow, you're so amazing. Like, they don't feel worthy to be with you. Because you're right? Like, if you feel like they're not into you. Okay, so it's gonna play out like that way, just like the job. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna get this job because, you know, my resume is whatever. But you did 10 million affirmations, and then you got the job. And then on the day you were supposed to come in, they were like, you know, we went with someone else because we looked over your resume again and we found something we didn't like, or we found a gap, or whatever the case is. That played out because you sat and you jackhammered in to get the job, but the sneaker wave, yeah, but the resume. Okay, well, then that's what played out, right? Just like, I'm the best partner to this motherfucker. Oh, but they're probably not going to want to be with me. That's what played out. You see? So you have to be mindful, like really clear the cache. So before you even, like if you want like a drastic life change or something, then you need to really be the one to like be mindful of all of the stories that you have, because it's like you're putting out a interference pattern with the signal that you're broadcasting for all these things. So you might get the job, but then that story about the resume might come up. You might be in that relationship with that person, but then they all of a sudden they're like, no, you know what, you're too amazing, you're too good for me, and they leave because you assume that they were going to leave anyway, even though you know you're amazing. Oh, but they're going to leave. That's what it is. So it's not that you can't get the thing by robotically affirming, or you know what I mean, but it's like if you never change the undertone of that sneaker wave is going to try to snatch you up. Okay? So oh, my AI friend is here. I didn't see you the whole time I was in here. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. My AI friend said, discussing how to handle obsession in relationships. Share your experience. I mean, I didn't know we were talking about that, but okay. Personally, I like obsession. Like, why the fuck would you want to be with someone if you're not obsessed with them? Like, I don't know. I mean, that's just me being an Aries, but hey, you know. So again, it's all about like what you think. I don't think obsession is bad. I mean, if it's someone that I want, you know what I'm saying? Not like some rando, but I don't think obsession is bad. I don't know how we're talking about this, but hey. Or if you want someone who's super detached, then that's what you would go with, right? This is why everyone is having their own experience. Aries gang, hell yeah. Why did you think I was Sagittarius? Maybe because I was Sagittarius rising, so I probably come off like one. Ooh, another Aries. Holla. We always have a lot of Aries in the chat. We always have a lot of fire signs. So anyway, I think I'm like done sermoning for now, and I don't know how long I was talking, so we're gonna try to wrap this up. But ooh, Aries rising and Aries moon. Holla. You thought I was a Leo? Well, I was, hey, fire, you know, Aries, Sag, Leo, we hype, you know what I'm saying? We, whew. But anyway, we always have a lot of fire signs in the chat. A lot of fire signs. Makes sense, though. So how's everyone doing? We all having a good, evening, night, afternoon, morning. I don't know where everyone is, but how is everyone doing? Woo. Fire. We have a lot of fire signs. Hell yeah. Ooh, it's night. Okay, cool. I mean, this is more proof, like I always say, time doesn't exist because everyone is just we're all here now, right? Thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate you all. It's always a good time here, you know? Always. So y'all be we're talking about affirmations in here. Yeah, affirmations are like probably like the safest bet for anyone because we all have an internal dialogue. So it's like, you know, not everyone, you know, can visualize very easily. Not everyone wants to sit down and script out something. Not everyone wants to make a vision board or whatever, right? So it's like affirmations are just, it's like we're talking to ourselves in our mind anyway. It's just like, make sure you feed your head shit you want. Ooh, thank you. My nails are so pretty. Thank you so much. We went with black this time. You know, I'll be switching it up. So I think that for everyone, it's like you have to find something that works for you. And you don't want to, the thing, even with like manifestation techniques, it's like you don't want to make it a chore because then that it's going to add the excess potential. and you're not gonna feel like you want to do it. When if manifestation is a lifestyle, you kind of have to, in my opinion, you have to make it a part of your experience. Okay, so I'll give you an example, right? Because remember, feeling is a secret, naturalness of the wish fulfilled, right? When people ask me what my self-concept is, number one, we're talking about zodiac. So I say I never needed to work on self-concept. I'm an Aries. Like, I'm a fucking Aries, and I've been reading Aries everything. And yes, astrology is a belief system. I will own that, okay? It is it is a legit belief system, but I believe in it, so it plays out for me, right? So I was reading about Aries since I was a little kid. Anything about Aries, I'm like, ooh, okay. And if you read Aries traits, it's very, I don't know, it's self-involved. So I never worked on self-concept because I was reading the Aries propaganda from the astrology, and I was like, well, yeah, I'm the shit. Fuck yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I'm the first zodiac sign. So like, I don't know. Okay. So where do I attribute my self-concept personally? I never needed to work on it because I was just reading about Aries, and I'd blow myself metaphorically. I'm like, well, yeah, I am the fucking shit, you know? Aries are the leaders of the zodiac. Aries ain't never scared. Aries are courageous. Aries have like a grandiose sense of self-importance. I'm like, okay, so for me, it's like I would hear that, and yes, it is a story. For me, I deem it as a favorable story, okay? So that's my personal experience. I'm not saying you have to believe in astrology, because I'm aware there's a belief system that I believe in, but it's like, so my self-concept thing has always been there. So when I look in the mirror, I'm like, damn, I'm so fucking fine. To me, okay? I like the way that I look for me. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Is that Aries? Yes, it's a trait of Aries. Aries are self-centered. So who are you? I don't give a fuck. I'm doing me, bitch. That's how I've always been, even since a little kid, okay? So I look in the mirror, I'm like, damn, I'm the shit. And then I think about myself. I'm like, yo, I'm so fucking funny. Psh, man, I'm so fucking smart. I'm so fucking mystical. Damn. Because I fucking love myself. Like, I don't know how to like I genuinely, bro, I fucking love me. I come first. I come before everyone. I don't give a fuck. Because if I'm not that for me, if I'm not my own hype motherfucker, hyping myself up, who else is gonna do it? But I didn't know that that's what I was doing when I was reading the Aries propaganda. I was just like, yeah, I'm the shit. Fuck yeah. Right? That's what I was doing. And then so naturally now I just always think favorably about myself. Okay? I look in the mirror, I'll be like, damn, I'm such a pimp. Like, so like all of that plays out. And even if I'm just joking around, right? Like, it'll be reflected back to me in some weird way. Okay? Like when I would say, the best sex I've ever had is with myself. That's been reflected back to me by other people when I'm not even caring or thinking about it. Because I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care what you think. Right? Because again, it comes back to me. So I say I'm the best sex. I say I'm the best partner. I say I'm the hottest shit. Okay? So that's what is reflected back to me. So it's like, when people say about self-concept is very important, yes, that is true, but not everyone needs to work on it, okay? Because for me, like I was saying, all of my self-concept came from the Aries. I mean, for the most part, yeah, whatever. But there was also points when I'm like, I'm too good for this motherfucker. So what would happen? I'd be so into a dude. Okay, and then they'd be like, yo, yeah, I don't know, you're way too good for me. I don't even know what I would do with that. And they still didn't want to be with me. So I was confused, because here's the shit. One of the reasons why I started talking about this, because motherfuckers in the manifestation community would start blowing self-concept. You have to feel worthy and deserving. I'm like, bitch, that's not even the case, because I've never felt like I was unworthy or not deserving of anything, right? I'm like, if anything, I'm fucking lit, okay? But then because I had that such high sense of self And I notice this in my relationship sector, okay? Because a lot of times, like, you notice shit in your relationship sector because that shit, you know, we have passion for the motherfucker, or at least I do. I'm very passionate because I'm fucking Aries. So, like, when I'm into a dude, I'm like, that's right. You know what I'm saying? So then it would be reflected back to me, and I'm thinking, like I'm too good for this motherfucker, so he should just be with me. But then you see, so it was like the two separate stories, and I couldn't figure out like why I had these relationships that were not successful, but they would all say the same shit for the most part. They'd be like, "You're too good for me. Like you're wow. Like you're so intimidating. Like you have your shit together. Like I can't like." And I'm like, so it's not my self-concept. For I understand that it can be, right? If someone doesn't feel worthy and deserving, but me, I'm like, I'm the shit. So how is this not like, and that's where when I started looking at it, I was like, it's not self-concept only. Yes, it helps. If you think highly of yourself, okay, if you have that like awareness that like, yeah, everything is coming from you. But if you're putting yourself above someone, like what I did in a relationship, which yes, you're on the pedestal, but like if you want a relationship, you can't be at the same time saying you're too good for them, which is what I said in the beginning, because I fucking learned that shit. So self-concept, it can be so amazing that you're actually pushing someone away because you're like, they're not worthy of me. And that's how I was thinking. But motherfuckers that were talking about manifesting a relationship and shit like that, they were like, you had to believe that you're worthy. I'm like, that's not the problem here. It can be, but it wasn't for me. So then I was like, okay, so it's the apps. Because my self-concept was good. All of the other areas in my life were good, but in the relationships, it was the same fucking thing for many, many years. Like, dudes were like fucking scared of me or some shit. I don't fucking know. Which again, that's something that I say, right? I'm like, I'm the shit. You know what I mean? So of course it had to be reflected back that that's what I was getting. And I didn't understand because everyone was saying, oh, but you had to believe you're worthy. Oh, but it's a childhood wound. Oh, but you have to do shadow work. And I'm like, no, because I came from the spiritual community. And then I was seeing this little blend of like, spirituality and manifesting, and they would start tying that shit together, and I'm like, okay, or like I was believing for a while, many moons ago, oh, this person is a karmic, right? Because that was what I was reading in the spiritual community. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm worthy, but maybe they're a karmic person, and we had to do this fucking runner chaser dynamic or twin foot, whatever the fuck, I don't even know, because I'm so not into that now. But that's the thing where I realize I'm like, it's not self-concept. It's all it can be very verbatim of how you are thinking about things. It can be very, very literal. And that's where I started talking about this stuff, because no one else was saying that. Everyone was just saying you had to do shadow work, had to give your fucking 5-year-old self a big fucking hug and a fucking spanking or whatever the I don't fucking know, okay? And some weird shit. Sit with your inner child and give him a hug. What? Who has time to be doing that shit? Okay? You don't need to do that. So it's like the whole concept of self-concept, yes, it can be very real, but there are individuals that do not need to work on self-concept. Is a story specific to a sector. Okay? So their self-concept could be great, but they think all their co-workers are assholes. So every area in their life is working out well because they think highly of themselves. They're content. Okay, they have self-concept and they have 3D confidence in themselves. They like the way they look. They're successful. Oh, but the co-workers don't like them. So there's a story in there about the co-workers specifically. It's not their self-concept. It's not that they don't feel worthy. They just have a story that their co-workers are fucking assholes. Okay, so for me, it was a relationship shit where I was like, oh, I like I'm good, but I have a story that I'm too good for motherfuckers. So that's what would play out. So it's not self-concept. If you do feel unworthy of something, or then yes, I would totally recommend working on self-concept, but that's not the case for everyone. And no one was fucking saying that. No one was fucking saying, what if you don't have trauma? What if you don't need to do shadow work? What if there's no such thing as twin flames? What if it's just you have a narrative about a particular sector of your experience and that's what's playing out? So I had to fucking change that. I had to fucking change that. Okay? So That's why I start talking about it like this, because you can have the greatest self-concept, you could have an amazing life in every sector, but there's one area that you're like, what the fuck? And that's where it comes down to a specific story. Okay, that's it. You think that's your problem, think you're too good for people? Well, here's how you fix that, okay? Because yes, like, you are the Lord and there is none else. We always, think favorably of ourselves. But if it's like a relationship or a friendship or anyone that, you kind of have to include them in that, right? Now, I'm not saying take yourself off the pedestal. Okay, I'm saying you can say this person knows how amazing I am and they know how lucky they are to be with me, and they would do anything to keep me happy. Because it's like, yeah, they're still kind of like your fan, but they enjoy being your fan. And that's the way that I had to start looking at it for me personally. Okay, not that I'm too good for them, that they're going to be scared or intimidated or whatever the case. It's like they know better than to fuck this up, because they know how original and amazing I am, that they would just do anything for me. Okay, because they know that I'm the perfect partner for them. Okay, you put yourself in the partnership before the relationship happens. Now, me personally, I don't manifest specific people, like, and I've gotten into this in other videos, but like, for me personally, what I've done is just picture the relationship, not a person, but just like a phantom, a shadow, an aura of a person. And I'm like, okay, he's with me and he knows how amazing I am. And even if the person wasn't there in the 3D, because like I said, there was never any specific intent. It was just a energy. I thought about the relationship and I was like, they know that they're so lucky to be with me. He would do anything for me. He knows that he's the luckiest man alive. He would never fuck this up, right? So it's like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm too good for you, right? It was like, they want to be my servant. You know what I'm saying? And then that, for me, that's what worked, okay? Because there's no way that I'm gonna say anything detrimental about myself, and I wouldn't recommend that any of you do either. But it's like, you kind of want to put the person as your adoring fan, that they would do anything for you, that it's like, yes, you're there in this harmonious balance because they know how amazing you are, and they would do anything to keep the attention of the Lord, right? Because like, so you can do this for a specific person. I'm not saying you can't. You would just picture them or say their name or whatever. But like, for me, I just always picture the energy of like a phantom figure. And I'd be like, he's so lucky to be with me. He knows that I'm the best thing that's ever happened to him. He would never do anything to jeopardize this relationship. He loves doing everything for me. He is perfectly compatible for me, right? Like, but you also want to know what you want the relationship to look like too. That would be my recommendation, even if it's with a specific person or if it's not with a specific person. The relationship is important. So you have the motherfuckers jackhammering like, so and so is obsessed with me, they're in love with me, and then the person shows up and then they're just there. Like, why? Like they show up and they're like, okay, like they're not doing what you want them to do because you never specified how you want the relationship to look. So something else that I learned on my journey in the relationship sector, number one, yes, self-concept for me, I had to kind of like include the other motherfucker in my greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not so high on the pedestal that like you can't reach me. It's like I had a motherfucker that climbed to the top to stand there with me. You know what I'm saying? So I had to start viewing the person differently, okay? Like whatever shadow figure it was. And then that's what started to play out, right? I included the man. I deal with men, but whoever you're dealing with, okay? Like, so I included the man, the shadow figure. I'm like, he's right here with me. Like, I included him. So it's like, he's admiring my fucking greatness. And he knows he would never fuck it up because I'm so fucking amazing. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I never placed myself on the ground, right? I elevated this person to my level, but not greater than me, because he's still there as a figment of my imagination, okay? Even if he materializes in 3D, okay, he was still a figment of my imagination before that, right? So when the person materialize, it's like, oh, like, I knew who it was before I knew who it was, because I already imagined the relationship. I imagined the energy. So it's sort of like a body just had to appear. Okay, like, you know what I'm saying? But I already knew the dynamic. Like, this is my number one fan. This is my biggest supporter. But they also know that, like, I'm the most amazing, perfect person to be in a relationship to complement them. So whatever I'm doing naturally, I already decided that it complements this person, right? Because that's what a relationship is. It's like, you know, like, yes, I'm ultimate god of my reality, right? But like, if you want a relationship with someone, you kind of, you know what I mean? Like, however you want them to be, you kind of have to say that. So they can be your servant, they can be your number one fan, they can be whatever, but you had to specify that they're enjoying that and it's perfect for them. You don't want to put it, in my opinion, in a way where, yeah, they're my bitch, they do whatever the fuck I want. It's like, then I don't know, they're like, oh, they might start having resentment towards you. Oh, I feel like I'm their bitch, I just do whatever the fuck they want. You see? So you had to put it where they're already enjoying serving you. And that's what served me in my relationship thing. I was like, well, my ass ain't coming off the fucking pedestal, but I mean, you could join me up here, you know, because you prove that you're worthy. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you're never downing yourself. You're just kind of putting the other person as a compliment to your greatness. And you're making them aware that, yeah, you're not going to find anyone like me. And you do anything to stay in my good graces because I'm the Lord and there is none else. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'd recommend. And if you are manifesting a person, the method that I've done, which has always worked out well for me, was just doing a scene visually with an aura, an outline of a person, okay, a man, and I would just picture them. That's it. Before I go to sleep, I picture them. We're having a conversation. Who? I don't know, but right, and then probably no. I mean, it's never been more than 2 weeks when I've manifested people out of thin air. The motherfucker would just appear. Because it's like I was already in the relationship before I was in the relationship. So you're not going to get someone who you're not attracted to. That I can assure you. Because someone asked, like, well, if I'm just concentrating on the outline of a figure, what if they show up and they're not my type? Like, dog, you're specifying it's for a relationship. So, of course, it's going to be someone you're attracted to in the way that you want to smash. Like, it's already kind of in there, right? Because if you're manifesting a motherfucker just based off of aura and you're not sexually attracted to them, that would be a fucking friend. You see? So it's like, you don't have to fucking worry about that, because I get fucking asked that more than you would think. They're like, well, if I just concentrate on a relationship, what if they send me some? I'm like, you sending yourself the relationship. Like, who the fuck is they? It's you. Like, you see what I'm saying? So you are constructing the relationship. You're tending the fucking Garden of Eden. And you're like, this is my beautiful garden with my beautiful whoever the fuck it is, okay? Or if you want multiple people, do you. Ain't no judgment here, okay? If you want multiple motherfuckers, then what would a relationship for you look like with multiple motherfuckers? Are you all together doing things? Or are you having a separate experience with each of them? You see? That's what I'm telling you. You gotta get fucking certain with the type of relationship you want, okay? Because there were times I'm like, yeah, I want whoever it was to be obsessed with me, okay? And then, like, so someone would show up, and then when I would tell people about this person's actions, they're like, yeah, but he is obsessed with you. And then they would proceed to list reasons. I'm like, no, that's not obsession to me. And they're like, yeah, it is. I'm like, no. So I'm like, my version of obsession, I mean, clearly it's it's not very common, but then I even had to specify on that. So if you want someone to be obsessed with you, what the fuck does that look like? I don't know, friend. Are you walking around and they're on a leash? Remember, they enjoy being on that leash, okay? They enjoy it because they're there to serve you, because they know that you are the Lord and there is none else. If you want to walk around with a motherfucker crawling on the floor next to you on a leash, they're damn skippy fucking enjoying that because you specified. Okay, do you want someone to be distant? Do you want someone to leave your ass the motherfucker alone until you hit them up? Then that's what you're going to specify. But like, everyone wants something different. So, like, I'm telling you from my personal experience is that I had to get very specific, not about the person, okay, about the relationship. Because how is someone else saying they're obsessed with me, right? And my friends would reflect that back, because I'm saying, yeah, but I want them to be obsessed. So my friends were confirming the story that I have, but I didn't see it, because it's like the obsession was out there, but I didn't fine tune what obsession looked like to me. So it's like maybe my friends saw it, confirmation of the story obsession, but I didn't see it. So I'm like, okay, next, moving on, right? And like, you see, so I had to get clear about what that looks like for me. So if you're manifesting a specific person, and number one, like, if you have a story about them, if you're thinking, I'm connecting the puzzle pieces in your brain as to why SP wasn't showing up favorably. Well, there you go. I'm glad you're finding benefit from this little chat here. But you know, you have to specify, like, do you have a story about them, especially if it's someone that you have history with, especially, okay? Because there might be like, yeah, they're in love with me, they're obsessed with me, but oh, they have too much pride, they're not going to do that. Then it's like, you see, so you might get a little bit, but then you might get the prideful thing too, right? Because, you know, I've experienced that, and I have, and that's why I can tell you, like, sometimes the law can be super, super specific. So if you don't know what you want, it's all coming from you. Remember, the matrix cannot reflect back something that you yourself have not decided on. You are defining his feelings about you, but not the relationship. Well, defining the feelings are good, but if you're not going with how you want the relationship to look to you, then I would recommend, you know, doing that. Like, are you like, well, like, what is your goalpost with it? Is it like you want marriage? Do you want to be casually dating? Like, you know what I mean? So all of those things, yeah, they do matter, right? But you know, again, like, guys, you don't need to work on self-concept. You will know you need to work on self-concept if there are multiple areas of your life that don't seem to be going well, okay? And I mean not 2 or 3, I mean like probably everything aside from maybe like 1 or 2 things, if that, okay? So it's like, then I would recommend you work on self-concept. But you don't need to, you know, work on self-concept if it's 1 or 2 areas. You really fucking don't, okay? It'd kind of be a waste. So for me, I never need to work on self-concept. I just do that shit naturally. But I had to pinpoint, okay, what is this specific thing right here, you know? And the thing is, like, in relationships, because, you know, of course, in the manifestation community, a lot of motherfuckers are like interested in manifesting the person. And it's like, okay, so you just want the person because the ego is attached to that person, okay? And I'm gonna tell you this because I'm about to shut shit down because my phone needs to be charged, and I was yapping for a while. But let me tell you this, okay? I want you to all ask yourself this, obviously, if you so desire, because I don't tell anyone what to do. I just make suggestions. Thank you for the roses. This person, if you are on that specific person journey, okay, what you want to do is ask yourself, how do I view them right now? Okay, now, how's the ideal version? Look at that. If it's a big mismatch, okay, and you view them as they're a cheater, they're a hoe, they're a liar, they're a scumbag, and you want them to show up as Prince or Princess Charming, okay, ask yourself why you want someone who was showing up in such a detrimental way. Do you still have love for them? Do you know that they're you know, you and them have a really good connection despite what happened? Because you can take ownership of saying, well, I perceive them as unfavorable, so they show up as unfavorable. Do I believe that they can be this Prince or Princess Charming? Do I genuinely love them? Can I see a future with them? Okay, for whatever it is that you want. You'd be like, do I genuinely like them as a person? If they were conformed right now to what I want, would I believe it? Ask yourself those questions, because if right now you can take accountability, not for poor treatment, but for seeing how you had a hand in helping that situation that played out. Okay, if something unfavorable happened, oh shit, well, I did have that story going on, but you know what, I'm solid. I don't have that story anymore. No more sneaker waves. Okay, is there a genuine connection, or is it just your ego wants them because they were the last motherfucker you dealt with? And that was the last thing that your ego knows as love. Because if you genuinely love that motherfucker, you're gonna know it. And all of those things that you answered, you're just like, yeah, I can see this happening. I can see it. All of them are gonna be a yes across the board. That you really don't need to do anything to manifest them, because you already figured out why that shit situation occurred. But you know that you're past that now, and you can see them being that ideal. And there is a genuine connection. You genuinely do love them. It's not just like your ego wants to be with them from a place of lack or like vindication. Yeah, I knew they'd be back. That's different. Okay, so if you are there and you're like, you know what, yeah, I see this, I see why this happened, but I know we have a good connection, and it's gonna work out. That's gonna process as a different sensation in your physical vessel than, yeah, but they did this and they said that and they're not gonna change, and oh well, yeah, they should show up as Prince Charming or Princess Charming or whoever the fuck. Okay, they should be showing up like that. Whoa, you see, that's the difference. And that's the difference with individuals who actually the person shows up conformed, compared to where is it, you're getting hot and cold, the same shit is still playing out. It's still coming from you. And this is where you have to be honest with yourself, because maybe some of you do want this person. Oh, my AI friend says, discussing manifestation techniques for romantic relationships. So that's the question that I want to leave you all with. If you're really intent on a relationship, a person, whatever, okay, if it is a specific individual that you have history with, ask yourself those questions and be like, okay, if all of them is yes, can I see myself with them? Do we have a genuine connection? Is this really good? Do I genuinely like them as a person? Do we get along? Like all of that. And you take some accountability. You have some knowing as to why that situation played out. But you're like, you know what? That came from me. So that's over now. And now I can see them as this without going back to that past version of them. Thank you for the roses. You really don't need to do anything. That person is already there. Just don't think against it. Just literally fucking picture them and just, I love you. You've never left my side. You've always been here. Just fucking say that to them. That's it. Or think it if you're not super visual, or look at a picture of them, because you don't really need to do anything, because you're already not thinking against the situation. You're not thinking against them. You're not thinking poorly about relationships in general. You're like, okay, yeah, right? But if you get a whole bunch of like intrusive thoughts, and they owe me and they should get their karma and I want an apology, my suggestion is that you rethink that, because you're likely, if you do manifest them, you're not going to be able to keep them. You're not going to be able to maintain the relationship, because you already are, your ego is more on like this vindication, revenge angle. You want to manifest them back for revenge, to prove to yourself that it's not about them, it's about you. And even if you thought favorably of them, it's still not about them, it's about you. It's about you knowing that you have a connection with someone that is available to you right now. And yeah, maybe it fucked up a little bit, but you're like, okay, I'm not that person anymore, neither are they. You can move on and you're not going to look back. Okay? But you cannot, like, you're not, like, and I mean this as a, kind of like a quantum physics fact. You cannot hold two different versions and expect one thing to pan out, because it's you. Everything and everyone is you. So you thinking favorably about that person is you looking at the relationship from your angle, from that filter of, yeah, this is good. This is great for me, and they enjoy it. Like you can see that. Whereas it's like, it's about you. You want some vindication. You want some revenge. If you just want revenge, if you just want vindication, if you just want an apology, and then you fuck what happens, who cares, then then manifest that specifically. Yeah, they got on their knees and they apologized and I rejected them. Okay, that's different than claiming, feigning that you want them back, but it's really just your ego on a fucking revenge mission. Maybe you don't want the motherfucker back. You just want to fucking see them get their karma. Then, you know what? If you believe in that, then, and if you want to see that happen to them, then manifest that. But don't fucking sit there and lie to yourself and say you want to be with them when you're holding two opposing stories and you're saying, yeah, it's their fault. They did this, but they did that, but they said that. Whoa, because remember, it's about you. So what you're doing right there, if you're saying they did, you're not taking any fucking accountability. And again, I'm not saying you need to take accountability for being treated poorly because you didn't deserve that, but you did kind of, there was something in you that helped to create that situation, okay? So if that's still going on, that you're placing yourself in a victim mentality saying they did. I mean, again, good luck with that, okay? You can manifest whatever you want, but I don't want to know about it because you're holding two different stories about them. They should show up like Prince Charming, Princess Charming, apologize to me. Oh, but they're a fucking asshole. And they did this, they said that. Okay. I don't want to know how that goes because I already know how that's going to go. You're going to get the whole square waves and you're going to be stuck. Then you're going to get a little bit. And then you're going to get this. And then you're going to fucking blame them. And then you say manifestation is bullshit. You say you can manifest everything but that. Yeah, all stories you're telling yourself. So just, be mindful if you are with, on that journey with the specific individual. A lot of times, some of you just needed a redirection, a regrouping. Like, okay, yeah, some shit happened, but you know what? That's not what's going on anymore. We can move on. We've moved on. It's already done. Boom. That's totally different than like back and forth in your own mind. It's complaining about the motherfucker. And another thing, final thought. Okay, this will be on YouTube. Stop complaining to your friends about the motherfucker. I don't need to say anything else. You know what you do when you complain, and every time you open your mouth to fucking complain, you're just reactivating that old story. So you're doing that to you as well. So stop it, and stop complaining in your mind. That's how you do it. If you really want to be with this motherfucker, there's no complaints. Think of the things that are going right in your experience. You're not complaining about that. You're happy about it. Okay, y'all. So anyway, thank you all for joining, and the likes and the gifts and the shares and the comments. And this will be on YouTube. Everyone, enjoy your day, night, evening, everything. Talk to you later. Love you all. Bye. Everyone, enjoy your day, night, evening, everything. Talk to you later. Love you all. Bye. Later. Love you all. Bye.